And I'm gonna hit go live.
Great.
All right, it's going live.
Whoa. As we live and breathe.
All right, we should be live.
Ungrammared there.
I think we're good. I think we're live.
Fantastic. Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Classic
Justin, you introduce us here, even though it's weird.
Good old me
on video.
Welcome, everyone, to the chill Inanimate Insanity animation stream. We have our favorite absolute king, Adam Katz, here to animate. What are we animating, though?
Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm back, and I feel like it has been a while since I've been on the channel. Like, my face, I literally don't know when the last time my face has been on the channel. But hello, everybody. Today, we are animating a really cool video starring the wonderful Justin as Paper himself.
Wow.
So,
hi, everyone. Oh, wait. Hi, everyone. What's going on?
There we go.
Mixed some things up.
Beautiful. Also, sorry for being late. It is entirely my fault. So if you have any hate comments, feel free to hashtag Adam Katz on there and just really make me feel terrible about myself.
Don't add me.
No other context. Fantastic.
It's, you know what? It's a beautiful thing. And so today we are going to be animating a really, really fun video, guys. We are going to be animating a new animated short, an Inanimate Insanity animated short. That is a real tongue twister right there. Starring Paper at the beach. So there is going to be a lot of fun stuff involved with this. Particularly, there's one scene where the audio is done, so I'm going to be working on that. There are other characters in this video too. However, they will not be revealed at the time. But the video should be out within the next week or two. So keep an eye on that because I am going to go full throttle. And yeah, you know what? I'll be loose with the release dates. Who cares? I don't know what the release date is, but I can tell you guys it'll probably be out within the next week or two or three.
Adam, oh no, don't tell them that. Oh,
we do have a separate plan for next week at the very least. So after that point, get hype.
Yeah. It's coming. It'll come at some point.
Okay. Sort of introduce myself. I'm Justin. Of course, as Adam was just speaking, we have a third as well here today. Just to round out introductions. Who we got?
That's true. It's me, the third, Brian. I Coderex, right? Fan from Inanimate Insanity and his fantastic features as well.
That's it, everyone. Hashtag Brian the Third.
Me the third. Yeah. That would be cool.
The last for last.
I do not come from a long line of Bryans, but that would be pretty awesome if I did. Alas, instead I have a wonderful family. Instead. Oh well.
Alas. Oh well. Exactly. Such a shame.
Yeah.
So, I know you're on webcam right now. What's the plan for showing animation?
So the plan for showing animation is hopefully, let's give it a whirl here. I'm going to turn off my video capture device. And nothing shows up.
Nothing.
Why is that happening, guys?
Pretty nifty.
So many questions being asked here.
Well,
I see why I think that's happening.
Not to worry.
No, I don't.
Well, you figure that out. We're going to be also looking at the chat, and if you're going to tweet us on Twitter, then we'll be responding as well. So, by all means, go ahead in the YouTube chat as well if you have any questions for us. Obviously, if it's a spoiler, as always, we can't really get into spoilers. But if you have some fun questions, you could put it in the chat or on Twitter at AnimationEpic, not at Inanimate Tweet anymore. I almost said the wrong thing. I would have slapped myself. But no, it's at AnimationEpic on Twitter. So whatever
awesome.
however you want to send in your questions, we'll be keeping an eye. We'll look at stuff. Adam's going to animate. We're going to read questions. It's going to be a great time. Get ready. And look, stuff is on the screen right now.
That's right. I figured it out. So, guys, as you guys know, even though I am a Gen Zer myself, like many of you, I do not know how to operate technology at all. So I'm learning, and I'm sure a lot of you are just rolling your eyes of like, how does this kid not know how to do this? But you know what? Here I am. And as you can see here, I'm talking so much that 3 of the 4 characters have lost their ability to talk.
Oh, no.
As a result.
Oh, no.
Okay, so just basically for all transparency here. Ooh, do you see this little? Your disc is almost full. Ooh, that's really nice. So I'm working off of my personal laptop here, and I am using an older version of Flash. So there is a potential that all this work I do today may not be preserved, but I'm going to do my best to make sure that is not the case. And so the reason why 3 of the 4 of these characters don't have mouths is because there is probably an error in the file of the mouths not making it. But as you can see, Test Tube's mouth is fine. So these were the 4 characters in the animated short Waffling About that came out a month ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. And thank you all so much for watching that video, because that was honestly so fun for me to make. And I animated it pretty dang fast. So I am happy with that it was able to come out even, a fraction of as good as it did.
It was December 12th. It's time moves so quickly.
That's actually insane. Yeah. December 12th?
Yep, just check.
Oh my God, almost 2 months. That's so bad. Guys, I'm trying my best, but things are going to get really awesome around here on Animation Epic with more details to come in the future. Wow, look, it gave me another your disc is almost full. That must mean the disc is really full if it tells me twice.
My pitch is that instead of doing an animation stream, we do a let's go through all of your files to see what should be deleted, air out your dirty laundry, so to speak. The audience can vote on what to delete.
Keyword laundry. There you go.
It'll be all good. I don't know if I have received that audio from Taylor yet. Of the scene.
Your email, Adam, just so you know. Are you showing it? Oh, maybe you're not.
Yeah, it's his webcam.
No, I'm showing my webcam right now.
So thank goodness.
Don't worry, I've been strategic in doing that. But I think Taylor sent me it.
Fantastic. Well, while you're looking for it, I'll take a look at the first question. We have a question on Twitter from Waves of Red. Was there any specific inspiration for doing things like fans' fantastic features, or really just shorter Inanimate Insanity content in general?
That's a really good question. Well, Brian, I think you'll be able to speak more on fans' fantastic features than me. So why don't you go ahead?
Absolutely. Well, always we had the goal of doing a further exploration of the characters, even after they were eliminated from the competition. They are never eliminated in our hearts, and we want to continue to explore them. And for a while, we kicked around ideas of what's then the best sort of lens through which to do that exploration, because it was definitely something that we were interested in. And it's also then tricky because, like, how do we have time to then make all this stuff? We're only a couple of people, but we realized, no, here's what we could do. We could have, now that Fan is out of the game, it just sort of made sense for us to do using what we know about Fan and how he kind of had difficulty connecting with other people, and also still wanted to like continue like sort of that whole idea of him like vlogging and really engaging with the community and such. We saw it as a great opportunity for him to have his show, bring on other contestants that you like to see, that he then interviews and does all sorts of fun stuff, and also maybe learns a few lessons along the way and involves the community of you all, and maybe having some characters in the audience that you recommend, and maybe even being more prominent guests on the show. So it just felt like a win-win, both for using the characters that we all love and for getting you all involved as well. So there you go. That's fans' fantastic features.
I mean, that's a great answer right there. Justin, what do you have to add?
Yeah, just fans' fantastic features and beyond. We here at Animation Epic, we love to tell like a wide variety of stories. And although Inanimate Insanity Season 2 has been a dream project, really, it is nice to just every once in a while say, well, what's this new? What's the story of the week we want to tell, as opposed to the story of the once every few months. And both have their advantages, disadvantages, but being able to dive into a fan features and say, well, give us a character, we'll go all out with exploring them, and same goes for Inanimate Answers, same goes for other projects. Even in the shorts as well, Adam. I know you wanted to just dive right into being able to just work again on projects with a faster return, so to speak, if you want to get into that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I promise I'll turn on my animation after this answer. But a big reason for that is I know these big episodes, everyone loves them. They take a long time to come out. So we're trying to think of ways to bring you the fun of the characters on a more regular basis. And one of the ways that I've been able to do that, because I have personally worked as a production coordinator at Netflix for the past year and a half. So it has been very, very difficult for me to do it as, a full-time thing. So it's been very hard to make long-form content more regularly. So the way that we've kind of approached it is giving you short-form content. And I know that Taylor and Brian have done an incredible job getting Fantastic Features episodes out on a very consistent basis. Justin with Inanimate Answers, really taking a different spin on it. And yeah, I made Waffling About as kind of a test to see what an animated short for Inanimate Insanity would kind of be like. So yeah, and that's about it.
Yes. It's
I think
very
that's a good answer.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. I love
We need applause in the chat for Adam's answer.
yeah. I love just being
Beautiful.
able to be like, hey, like, wouldn't it be funny if, like, wait, salt and pepper are S&P, like, standards and practices? Wait, hold on, let me just write a script real quick. That's great to be able to just have that freedom, be like, here you go, we're broadening the world. That's what we're doing for all of you. So there you go.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I'm realizing it's going to really show all of my files as I pull them up.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Look at that.
Oh my. Look at all of this stuff. So that is very unfortunate.
There's a folder called Adam. Oh, want to go in there.
Oh, cool. And it's not even letting me open this file. I guess there was an error. So we're going to go back to my video. Hi, everybody.
Okay.
This might become a different kind of stream if these technical difficulties keep popping up.
Well, here's the thing.
Definitely not awkward at all.
Nothing's more exciting than overcoming conflict.
Exactly. There's an arc. There's an arc to this stream. So get ready.
This guy a lesson at the end.
Kenya Marion in the chat says AnimationEpic is the best YouTuber ever. So there you go.
Aw.
I'm not being judged.
Thank you. I genuinely do appreciate that. I think I'm literally going to have to email myself the assets right now in order to do it. But yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Soph in the chat writes, everyone, judge Adam's file names.
True. Thank you so much.
There's a balance to judging in the world.
That is so sweet. Really, it is. Thank you so much, you guys. I really hope that you judge my file names to the best of your ability. Please don't do that, by the way.
Accordingly.
Good thing this is my personal laptop. That would have been bad. Let's see what we got here. I'm almost there.
Mike and Michael asks, how do you guys deal with being the coolest people ever?
Are you looking at me? I am very much not the coolest person ever, but I do very much appreciate the help.
Surely, Brian, you're the only one who could take up that mantle.
Oh, no. That is not a title that I feel I am worthy of either. This was a mistake. Mike and Michael, that's an error on your part.
It's a full stream of errors. Well, I mean, here, what goes to say is we're just some friendos who enjoy having fun and making a show, and that means that guess what? If you are cool, which you are, you could do the same. Yeah. Make your shows and tell us all about them. Send links.
Exactly. This is showing how humble and authentic all of us are. You know what? And this is actually a very carefully calculated play. Nothing's actually going wrong. We're just making it look like things are going wrong, so we seem more relatable to you. Okay? There you go.
You know what's really cool too? Is my flash on my personal computer is actually crashing over and over again.
Okay.
So you know what? I've decided, because my old laptop is so terrible and it is not working at all, I'm going to attempt to animate on this computer as well and share that.
A live stream exclusive, everybody.
I think that'll be a better move. The very, very, very unfortunate part about that is we are currently streaming, and I cannot do that unless I showcase everything on my computer, which is a work computer.
Okay, yeah, so incredibly inappropriate.
Yes. This is truly fun, guys, but this is part of the fun of animating, and that's the whole point of the stream, is that there's always going to be so many difficulties, a lot of technical problems in the way, and you just got to power through it. You know what I mean? So why don't we just make this a Q&A? Let's do it.
Okay, this one goes to Adam then. From Tunaroo at the Toon Girl. Why did you go for the Paper Mario aesthetic for the II shorts?
That is a really good question. So a big reason for that was I wanted something visually distinct for these shorts. And I was like, okay, the key thing for these shorts should be that they are visually simplistic comparatively to the normal II styles so that, it could be done more easily. But at the same time, we need to make sure that they look nice. And so that is it's a challenging thing, honestly, to be more simplistic. Here's actually a fun exercise. Because if you look, for example, at the Powerpuff Girls by Craig McCracken, if you try to draw the Powerpuff Girls, it's actually very, very, very difficult to do. And even though they're so simple, and the reason for that is the proportions are so, so crucial because that's basically all the character design is. It's like a few circles. But if those circles aren't quite right, it looks completely wrong. And that's the tricky part. So being visually simplistic can actually be very, very difficult. And that has been something that we have really, really tried to hone in on, but it's not easy.
Right.
Anyway,
it's that accessible style, that classic thing of you got to recognize the character from the silhouette.
That's right.
It's a nice meme, but there is a truth to it. Yeah. All right.
And luckily, paper is the only rectangle in animation.
Exactly. You instantly, whenever I see a rectangle in my life, I think paper. It's made my life very difficult.
I'm a sheep.
Well, that was a great question. Thank you, Tunaro. Always coming in with great questions. We had one from Wolfie who asked, "What is your favorite episode you guys produced so far?" Also, thank you so much for being a big part of my childhood. Love ya all.
Aw, that's so nice.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
Next question.
I mean, I feel like we all have a probably similar answer. It's so easy to then just think, oh, well, then the newest one, you're just going to then say that because it's in your best interest. No, I feel like what was accomplished with season 2, episode 14, it really was a labor of love for all of us. It was that 30-minute special, hatching the plan. It was so much like a big part of the story with the aliens and everything. It was something that we were so looking forward to. I know I at least was really looking forward to doing that for years and in a very specific way. And I had all this stuff of how it would be resolved of like Fan with his egg and everything with Microphone and Taco. Like that was all stuff that we had really I had been imagining for so long, and it finally came to a head. And I really love how it came out. Music by John Meadis, all the animation, everything. It's quite the package. I gotta say that one currently.
Dang it, stole my answer.
Sorry.
Episode 14 is so much fun. I love watching episode 14. Eventually, this happens with every episode. It just becomes like, no matter how much time I put into it, with time, it just becomes a matter of, do I have fun watching it now? Because the memory of working on it escapes you, even in little ways. But the video itself is what is preserved. That is what is left of all the time you put into it. And I love watching 14. Really, all the recent 4 are a blast to watch, though. 14's a favorite. 11, there's a lot of, that makes me say, oh, well, that's not perfect right there. But 12 hits a really strong balance and gets a lot of good emotion in there. And 13 has the cool factor to it. Probably the one I watched the least out of those 4, though. But 14, that's where I end up on. I love getting to the story that we have been working towards for that long. And 15 it's always exciting to have to live up to a bar that we set for ourselves.
It's great tetralogy. Well, those are great choices. And that's also why we love the reaction videos so much, because it lets us see like through fresh eyes how you're all, because we're so close to, trust me, the amount of times that I had to watch episode 14 when editing it was a crazy amount. And obviously I loved it every time, but still on a certain level, that was me watching it looking for, is there a mistake in this? Like we had to re-export all of it because there was one point when like the back in the, is that what you said to Pickle scene? Like there was one like time when like the background briefly like moved up for one frame and it looked weird and it was just one frame. So you're watching it looking for errors. So it takes a while to just be able to watch it and enjoy it. And that's what's nice also, like when it's all said and done, looking at it through the eyes of all of you wonderful viewers and maybe take some time away from it and then look back at it and you're like, oh, wait, no, we did a good job. No, it's not just a bunch of mistakes. It's good.
That's why the Mike Taco scene in particular, I'm glad you bring that up, because
Yeah.
that's probably the best example for me in that episode of like, we wrote it, we really liked it when we wrote it, but then so much time passes that by the time the episode's about to come out, I'm like, okay, this is the part where there's the little flash and Taco, microphone says the words taco, and it's kind of, the scene's ambient and whatever. And then the reaction videos, like you said, like bring it back to life. I'm like, oh, that's why I loved writing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So I mean,
Great, that thing. Yeah.
Hopefully the viewers are entertained by us because they make it all great for us.
Yeah.
I love that. Also, guys, I don't know if this is working now, but I think it should be.
I see it. I see some animation, some drawing, a trapezoid even. It's amazing.
That's beautiful. Yeah, this is what's called. I am actually going to build out backgrounds because I discovered another wrinkle, which is that my headphones are plugged onto my other computer, so I cannot actually hear the computer I am now animating on. And if I do move my headphones over, it could cause a massive audio problem. So we are just going to go forward here, guys, even though I've gotten hit with basically every single possible technical difficulty all in a row. Here we are. And I'm going to be mostly focusing on design in this live stream instead of animating. But hey, you know what? This could be better because I've never really done that before in a live stream. And I think a large draw for people with this is the design of the short. So I'm excited to dive into that. A big part of it, guys, is really this very, very specific colors you pick and the specific shapes you pick, because this style is very simplistic. And so I'm trying to be very strategic with the color choices that I make. Sorry, I feel like that might have been insanely boring, but
that was not. I was invigorated with every word.
Oh, well, that's great to hear.
Sometimes when I'm watching a stream, I'm just interested in process and being in the mindset of a person who I know is doing a good job. And you know, there's the learning aspect of it. I think it's it's a lax stream.
Watching the artist in their natural habitat. It's great.
That's right.
But
and
we're gonna speak over it with question answering and really disrupt the flow.
Well,
I'm not very I am not the most talented designer in the world, and I want to make that very clear. It actually might be very clear after this design is made for the speech. But honestly, I think it's important to acknowledge that and to just do your best, because the only way to get better is to try, and boy, have I done that. So here we have some sand, but what I want to do is it's very interesting if you look at a side view of a beach, because the water needs to be moving. And so it does get a little bit tricky in terms of how do you make the underlaying part, the part that isn't being, you know, because there's sand obviously, but you're probably going to want to make the color slightly different unless you basically build a shape. So let's do this as a hypothetical here. So let's just say this is the water. So we're going to make this shape here. Here we go. So we're going to make this shape. I think a gradient would be a really nice thing here. So let's do a linear gradient. We're going to go something a little bit, you know, I feel like a lot of people, here's actually a really good tip. A lot of people, you know, if they want to make water, they're like, oh, I'm going to make it blue. And they just, you know, fill it in with like a nice blue color like this. And they're like, oh God, not that. Like this one. And they're like, cool, water, done. But I feel like water has a lot of subtleties in its color design. And I definitely recommend you pull up an image online and just kind of look at those subtleties a little bit and see if you can recreate them with specific color choices, because it can go a long way. So let's see how this looks. Might look bad.
We shall find out. We shall see.
It gets lighter as it goes, so it's more close to that. But I don't quite
And
like that.
that's the aquatic conflict. Oof.
Oh, it is quite an aquatic. This live stream has been an aquatic conflict all day.
Drowning, if you will.
Oh,
The real aquatic conflict is the sync between the video and the audio on that episode. But anyway,
yeah.
That's one of the ones that were fixed, right? If you go into the video description, it has
that's
that,
right.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
because I am crazy, and when I did all the recap, I like had copies saved of all of the episodes. So that literally was the only way, because otherwise the original like unweird, because there was a whole weird thing of like copyright for Chariots of Fire in episode 11 of season 1, and then it like goes out of sync and like the audio quality starts sounding worse. There's a weird thing with YouTube copyright. So if it wasn't for my weird little backup on my computer that I found, I think it would have been lost. So, but it's in the description. So, but whenever you watch Aquatic Conflict or One Shot Wonder for that matter, which has another little minor glitch, a lot more minor, but still, they're in the descriptions of those respective episodes, the fixed versions. Why ever watch it the other way?
I like that.
Yeah.
So
like
Bernie
that.
saved us, yeah!
I truthfully never save anything. I'm awful at that. Where like if I didn't have these guys, I think most of the files would be like completely gone for the show. And I'm very, very thankful for them for it. And I'm going to definitely be better at it going forward. But hey, I'm learning with them. So you know, it'll get better with time, right?
It's only been 10 years minus 2 months.
That's nothing.
The real person to thank is Google Drive. That's the person to thank for keeping all the files together. We love you, Google Drive. Hope you're watching.
John Google at it again. I do have a question that speaking of the old days, this question hasn't come up in a while, but it's always a fun one, mostly for Adam. How did you come up with the idea of Taco becoming a more of a bad guy in the end of the first season?
That's a good question. So honestly, I know when I created the character that the second I did that, I did not have that idea in mind. It definitely materialized over time. And I think it really came down to, I think if you have an interesting idea that you think would be a fun twist, I think it's very important to evaluate what situations have already occurred in the show and if realistically, like it was set up in a way that made sense. And if you're like, oh, this would be a cool twist, but also nothing in the previous episodes indicated that this would happen, then you probably shouldn't do it just for the sake of being shocking. I think there should be a good build-up and a good explanation for why they did what they did. With Taco, obviously there was an element of surprise, but we kind of we peppered in these moments where she would kind of break character a little bit.
Right.
I think we started midway through the first season.
Yes, episode 11 of season 1 is the first time. Aquatic Conflict again, actually. Yeah.
But a lot of it was like meant for like, well, it was meant to be perceived at least as, oh well, Taco's random, so this weird thing is nothing out of the ordinary for her.
Exactly. Like when the comic relief character suddenly said something smart, it was just like, oh, it's just a little joke. Haha. No. At that point, we knew what we were doing. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah. Okay. So then going forward from there, we have another question from Caleb_T11. Question: how did you feel when you made the characters and the storyboards and how the drama is? Because all of these episodes feel like a movie. So I think that's a really fun question because it goes back to again this whole idea of once we have it happens a few times. Obviously, when we're writing in the actual script, and then we'll do a table read, and we get that first sense of like, oh wow, like these moments are landing, and then we'll get it again when we have the animatic, and then we'll get it when we have the animatic with music, and then we'll get it when the episode's finally like actually finalized. Because while you're making it for so long, it just sort of feels like, okay, we're systematically like we have to then finish each part. And like eventually then you watch it and then I'm like, oh wait, well, the cinematic intentions, and I appreciate that you feel that way about them, definitely come shining through once all the pieces lock into place gradually over the course of many months. But yeah, does anyone have any thoughts on that process?
Oh man, Justin, what do you think? I'm so like I'm so bogged down by this bog that I'm drawing. what is the the definition of a bog? It's just a body of water. Like,
Okay, wait, we're looking into this. We got
actually,
it.
no.
Wet
I don't know if that
wood
would even
ball.
work.
Too soft to support a heavy body. So
Huh.
I looked up the word big. That one I knew already.
Oh, that's great to know, Justin. I'm very proud of you.
I'm a writer expert.
it's a wetland. That's what it says. Wet, muddy ground too soft to support a heavy body. Okay, we all know
you're
this.
Smart there, Brian, huh?
Yeah,
I got a question for you. Tonight, Jackson asks, "Are you gonna make a 15th episode?"
Oh, okay. Well, we knew this one was coming. This
No,
is
let's talk about it. Yeah.
You don't have an answer?
yeah, Adam. If you don't want to answer, I suppose you don't have to.
No, I'll answer. Look, guys, come on. Of course we're working on an episode. Okay. In fact, there may even be more in the works than even that. There's really no saying. But listen to me, guys. There are big things to come on Animation Epic. And I know that I always talk in like a half sarcastic way, so everyone's like, oh, is he like kidding? Is he serious? But guys, I'm super serial right now. It is coming. Big things are coming. And I don't know if you guys have seen
considerable size, extent, or intensity.
Well, here's what I will say. On our Twitter page and our Instagram page, there have been these really, really fun little teaser videos by the great Taylor Grodin, who
On our
is
YouTube
unfortunately
stories
not
as
here
well.
today.
Don't forget our YouTube stories on Animation
Oh yeah, that's right. They are in YouTube stories.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, look, water. Fun stuff.
It's blue, but not blue.
The 10th anniversary celebration is truly a momentous occasion. So don't you worry. All of this stuff that you're looking to see, episode 15 and more, it's coming down the pike. You'll get it. You know from us. We take our time, but you'll see stuff coming in, and stuff you wouldn't even expect. Get ready.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, exactly.
So guys, as you can see here really quick, because I think this is fun to point out. So I made the bottom piece of the water here slightly transparent, and you can actually change the blending mode as well if you want to play around with it. So here's darken. You know, that looks very like gross water, like disgusting green water. But you can change around these and find one that looks really nice. So usually what I do, that looks pretty interesting. But that water looks like, I don't know, like it has I don't even know what liquid this would be. It's like white, but pretty see-through. Like, I don't really know. But let's pick ones that are, so here's the hard light one, right? That looks pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm just kind of going through, seeing if there's any that maybe look potentially better. If none of these look better, oh God, this looks weird. That's interesting, but that's pretty cool looking. But ultimately, yeah, if none of them look good, I just kind of pick the normal setting and give it a slight opacity. And then I'm going to take this here as well and also make it a slight opacity too, but just like 93%. There we go. See that? That looks pretty neat.
I think it looks very neat.
I think it looks even neater than Brian thinks it looks.
Dang it!
I'm a better friend.
Can't do that. I'm leaving.
Wow. This is intense, guys.
Yeah.
Who's the strongest?
No one will get that at all.
Yeah, true.
It's
You're probably right about that.
Only the real fans will get it.
true. It's an old Ask Adam subject.
Does anyone even know like what Ask Adam like really is at this point? I'd be so curious.
Vintage. I mean,
Why don't we talk about what Ask Adam is?
It's fairly straightforward. It's a series of what we're doing right now, basically. Maybe right now we have a better visual flair. Maybe we're older and wiser, but also more less cool because we're old.
It was with higher pitched voices, except mine.
Answering questions, but we also did some live action ones, including one where we asked who's the strongest, and there was a arm wrestling thing on some pillows, and how'd that go?
Something.
I don't know. I actually legitimately don't know who was the strongest in that scenario.
I mean, it was.
My money's not on me.
I'm pretty sure it was left ambiguous, but the answer was that it was me.
What?
Yeah.
That sounds right. I'd put
Yeah.
my money on that.
Right.
I like to think I have the strongest will, so that counts for something.
So we'll let you have that.
Strongest will. So guys, I'm putting in these little like banks, these little irregularities here of land, just to give it a little bit more of an interesting feel. But I'm also trying to make sure that the perspective makes sense. So this has to be actually pretty high up, like that. Looks pretty interesting because basically I'm trying to create a some depth here, like some layers of land. And I don't really know if that's coming across super well, but I'm trying to build a little bit. And I think that's what these definitions are kind of doing. I think a fun thing to do, what else is at the beach? I think there's usually like little pebbles, little rocks around the place. I think, but I don't want to overcomplicate the color design. So I'll probably put in some little markings here, like do like this little thing, just some little markers like this. Is the screen share working, by the way? Can everyone see?
Yeah, I'm watching. Well,
I'm watching through YouTube.
Yeah, so it's a little bit on a lag for us because it's not in the Google Hangout, but that doesn't matter. There's no one's seeing the Google Meet. They're seeing.
Okay.
So that's
Perfect.
all. I love this question from Morgan Sandberg in the chat. Any jokes you guys like from my 2 episode 14? No. We didn't.
No, I thought it was very not funny. I actually think like it's kind of weird that people find it funny.
I thought all the jokes fell flat, actually. Yeah.
How about oh no, you murdered.
Oh, that is one of my favorite. I do love the to save fan. Yes, of course, I love the guy.
Yeah, that was good too. I like that a lot.
I think, yeah. Justin, do you have a specific favorite? I do have one in mind.
I mean, that's. I'm sure I'm gonna be blanking on what my actual favorite. Another one that was coming to my mind is she just stole the show and my heart. No, is she a criminal because she just stole the show and my heart? She is a criminal. Oh, well, look, her butt up in the clink.
Right.
Yeah, that was really good. That one really got me.
My favorite could be in that same scene, the ink cartridge. I just love that. It's so funny. It's so
no.
it's just so classic I and me phone, like weird chaotic humor of like why is this happening? And the way it like classes in the best of ways with what microphone does right after, I just find very amusing. Just like why is this happening? Why he could have generated anything, you guys.
It is kind of funny too, because I feel like when people are that joke was hilarious, but I feel like people once she stood up and said that won't be necessary, I feel like a lot of viewers are like, oh my god, she's gonna quit. And then he has that little joke, and then it almost like the suspense drops for just a little bit. Yeah. And people are just like, wait, maybe she's not gonna quit. And then she just does.
Drama.
I think for us it felt predetermined that that's what was going to happen because we've had that vision in mind for a while. But I do think a lot of people were surprised, especially judging from some reaction videos I've seen. People were like, "What? Oh my
yeah,
want to ruin their love." Yeah.
Yes. To quote Object 87.
Okay. New possible favorites from the episode is the one that was added last. Knife talking about how the test tube's the biggest threat left. Light bulb walks behind. What? And Knife's, no, not you. Light bulb just and then just continue to walk. I love that one.
Which that wasn't even recorded by Michael as something intended to be that. Taylor kind of stitched that together, and then you recorded the knife line specifically for that. That's how it played out, right?
I guess that would have been maybe the last thing recorded for the episode, that line.
That's hilarious.
I recorded with my stupid my laptop microphone, not even my real microphone, because I thought it was just like maybe like a social media type gag, not something for the episode.
Well, it sounds so much funnier that it's just like a muttered, like it's very authentic and casual. That's the energy you bring to the show, Justin.
Authentic, Brian.
Yeah.
I like you authentically.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Nice.
I like that.
The feeling is reciprocated.
You guys are probably wondering what the heck I'm doing right now, so I thought I would fill you guys in. I'm adding some fun abstract shapes to this body of water to make it feel a little bit more irregular and
Speaking
a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's true. I like that. So that's what I'm doing right now. And so I thought these little triangles here could be really neat, just to give it a little bit of something, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to put a little one here. But it's important to keep... So what I'm going to do is I'm really going to try to keep the perspective making sense. So you want these triangles to get a little thinner and smaller, a lot thinner as they go down. Yeah, and I don't know if it'll look good. We'll see.
We'll find out. We got Boba Zeeb on Twitter who asked, what are each of your favorite parts to developing the story that goes into the episodes? Do you have more favor in what happens over time, or what you come up with shortly and simplistically? Also, hello. And yes, hello, Boba.
Hello.
You're great.
So how simplify the question for me, Ryan.
Yeah, well, I think basically what's being asked here, especially kind of going off of what we discussed earlier, because there was the whole thing of, oh, when Taco, like, it started, it wasn't necessarily perceived for her to go in the direction later in season 1 that she did, at least at first.
Short
now
long-form storytelling, like
yeah,
concept work.
I think like development, yeah, because I think what it really comes down to is that a lot of what you all are seeing now, like where like the show is at, a lot of what you're seeing at this point is stuff that we've developed for a while. It certainly evolved over the years, but you're seeing ideas like from everything like 11, 12, 13, 14, and even before then is stuff that we discuss and hope to plan and build up to. And I mean, you saw that even with, look, Band's Theory in episode 11 that foreshadowed the events of all the ensuing episodes, like in little vague ways. We're planning stuff out, you know? But you got to roll with the punches a little bit, as Salt and Pepper might say.
More punches to roll with.
Also, please hold everybody, because I am re-adding my my animate window onto the live stream, so it's going to look very unprofessional for about 10 seconds. Oh yeah, because my flash crashed, so I have to reset it. Guys, this has been a tough day for me. Hope you guys all send good vibes.
Sending them over, Adam. This is your, if we count this as a meeting of sorts, this is what, your third today?
Yeah, I've had a lot of meetings today. It's like a work day.
But on a Saturday, how exciting.
I think it's so exciting, man.
Real good change of pace. Instead of relaxing and enjoying yourself, you get to do this.
Well, to be fair, I love this, but also the Super Bowl's tomorrow. So
I get all this out of the way.
Exactly. Got to get it all out of the way, because I want me some wins.
For the and the to compete tomorrow.
So I'm adding these these little what's it called, triangles here, and we're gonna do that, and we're gonna make one like a very, very light teal. And here, guys, this is we're gonna see if the magic happens here. If not, that will be a shame. But let's see if this works. So that's part of the design. You test some stuff out. It looks good. It looks terrible. And you make your decision for yourself. But here's some triangles. I'm going to...
Paper is really excited that one of those looks like a rectangle, which is is a reference to him, of course.
His domain, yes. I have to answer this question from Epic Gamer in the chat. Is Fan a Redditor? Please, for Christ's sake, answer my question. Yes, why not?
I mean, in my head, it's like an easy yes. I mean, it's a platform that's forum-esque, and you could fit into whatever niche you want. Fan definitely wants more activity on the II subreddit. Like, there's not enough people to talk to, so get on over there.
Yeah,
that is true. It's a great point. Also, I think it looked good, but I'm just going to make these triangles a little bit darker.
Did you say that you look good? Because, I mean, that is correct. I just
thanks, Justin. No, I didn't say that. I said that these triangles look pretty cool, and I'm happy I put them in.
Well, I was real close, I guess.
Can you guys see it in the thing?
Yeah. I'm seeing triangles. I'm back in math class. Back in AP Calc.
Looks pretty neat. Look at this water right here.
Yeah.
So it's got some depth, some interesting little artifacts on top. And then I'm going to put some little rocks around the beach. What do people have shells on the beach, right?
Oh yeah, I always would go rock collecting when I was at the beach as a youngster. It was a wonderful time.
Yeah, I hope it's shell collecting too.
Have you guys I remember, I have a very distinct memory of this. So this will be I have not shared this with any YouTube audience before.
Oh my
Not
God.
that I think it would be interesting enough to share. But when I was a little kid, I went to a beach and I actually, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like jellyfish when they're washed up on shore. But they look like these white discs. And because I think all of their like limbs that they have are like tucked underneath, maybe, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I saw a ton of them, like a huge amount of them, and I started collecting them. And so I would pick them up and run over and put them in a huge pile. And my dad finally saw that I was doing this and like freaked out because basically I was so lucky that none of them stung me. Like the fact that none of them stung me is insane. It's crazy. They definitely should have. So I got very
I'd
lucky.
be so terrified for you.
That is. So you didn't understand that that's what they were? You were just like, oh, what weird things?
Oh,
Yeah. Because I was like really little.
Oh
It's
my gosh.
just goo.
It's
It's just goo. Exactly, Justin. It's just goo.
Stupid idiot goo. Hate that guy.
I hate it. It's the worst. It's the worst, guys. This is supposed to be a rock, by the way. I don't know if that's coming across.
It rocks.
Can you make it a little rockier, maybe?
I'm gonna try my best.
Quick, Morgan Sandberg asked,
Oh, Morgan again.
who were the new voice actors in one of the II comic dubs you guys upload? Because Soap, Cheesy, and Trophy kind of sounded different in the comic dubs.
Well-
and I wanted to, for the fun of it, clarify that some people might sound a little different as they get older and haven't voiced for a few years. Soap and Trophy are performed by their original actors for the comic dubs. Cheesy, on the other hand, new performer. Brian, who's that?
Well, Cheesy is played by the wonderful Dee Cashin, who you may also recognize as Marshmallow. That's
Woo!
Dee. It was great because Dee auditioned for it and absolutely nailed it. Then worked to like help with like figuring out like the voice. But honestly, it was just they're a natural at it. Like it sounded great. Did the perfectly. I mean, slapping their knee in no time. They nail it.
I was pretty impressed. I mean, because we all know Dee is like a great voice actor, but that voice was very specific, and I just didn't see it coming. I was very impressed.
The most impressive element to me is that when Aaron was doing the parts, he would definitely be pitched up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Dee, I don't think there's anything on that. That's just the natural performance, which is always very impressive to hear.
Yeah. Dee has a lot of range, and it is always very impressive. Like,
Yay.
I think everyone can get behind that.
Shout out to Dee.
I don't know if this rock looks good. It looks weird, but I think that's okay if it looks a little weird,
Stylized.
It's stylized.
It's stylized. That's the thing.
I like that. Also, guys, I think we're at a place now where there's not really as many technical difficulties now. So I want to thank you all for being patient with me through that. I get very stressed out, and so I very much appreciate everyone's patience with me. It means a lot. Anyway, that's it.
Whoopdoo asks specifically me in the chat. They tagged me and asked, "Am I cool?" The answer is yes.
Okay.
For those who do not know, Whoopdoo is a marvelous animator on the team.
Wait, are
Whoopdoo is a Marvel Cinematic Universe superhero. And for those who don't know,
Wait, just to confirm, is Whoopdoo asking if they themselves are cool, or are they asking if you, Brian, are cool?
No. They're only asking about themselves, as they always do. No, Whoopdoo's great.
As they always do, yeah.
As one does.
Whoopdoo really is the best.
No, Whoopdoo's cool, and I am not, to clarify.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that, though.
Great, now a trend has begun, because Cake Brunch is in the chat. That's Charlie, who does the Inanimate Sandy comics, asking me specifically if they are cool. And yes, they are. My goodness.
Now, this is a bad trend.
People are coming out of the woodwork from the crew, asking for if they are cool, for the validation. And you know what? I'm going to give it to them, because they all are.
Let's make it more about us again. Because Gordon the One asks, between all of us, who is the most sensational?
I thought I was going to say sensitive. I was gonna be like, well, maybe me.
That's a good question though. Who's the most sensitive? We can answer both.
Probably not me.
I feel really strongly about this. Oh, go ahead.
But I will say this. I forgot what I was going to say.
That's what makes you sensational. That you just
Guys,
rush into a statement with no idea what you're going to actually say.
No, I did. But here's the funny part, guys. When you're like, I'm not very good at multitasking, and I've always said that. And when you are streaming your design work in front of thousands of people while simultaneously making sure the stream is operating, like my brain literally short circuits and I like forget what's going on. It's like I'm a computer program that wasn't done right.
We were just asking about who is the most sensational, which, you know, it's definitely a toss-up.
Oh, yes, and that reminds me what my answer was going to be, which is clearly we've learned from all the technical difficulties so that I'm not that person. So that is definitely not me.
Well,
I don't like
find
this.
big sensational. just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Of an event, a person, or a piece of information causing great public interest and excitement. Public interest.
What's that?
Golly.
That seems like a sensationalized definition.
The possibility of myself theoretically being called sensational just sounds absolutely horrifying. I need as little as little attention on me as possible.
Yeah, like how much can you say is actually sensational? You know, Avatar: The Last Airbender is sensational.
Sensational. If II is considered sensational by some, I'll happily be a part of that sensation. You know, I'll hide behind this theoretical force that is II, if that means protecting myself from that attention.
No, the Toy Story series is sensational, but we are painfully average.
It burns.
Oh, it's the pain, the pain.
I'm sensationing the pain.
Good.
Some things make more sense in your head.
Dustin, maybe you should be cheesy. That was a great pun. Yeah.
Cheesy, bro.
That was pretty good.
Wow.
Whoop is now asking me. Let's clarify names here. If Whoop is cool.
Wow.
Well, let's think here. Are we saying how do we set the bar for what is considered cool? Are we just talking cool in the sense of like emotionally distance, thereby creating this air of aloofness? Or are we just going with this guy's okay? In any definition, that is correct, including freezing. Whoop 2, you're cool. Burr.
Whoop 2, hi, how are you?
Whoop 2,
say
hello. I had to read this from Animation Matt Adams on Twitter, who, if you don't know, it's Dime, as you can see in Fans Fantastic Features, episode 3, the Nickel episode.
And that's my favorite color.
And Animation Matt Adams says, "That's really nice of you for making a short all about paper. To make up for paper not getting a chance to get an interview on Fans Fantastic Features 4. You guys are awesome. Thank you for that. We want to clarify, this was in the works before that as well. So, paper.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Does anyone want to talk about that?
I mean, look, that's just something that you had the thought of doing a short about paper, and I won't get into too much more detail about what sorts of misadventures or adventures he may get up to on that beach. But this was a concept that then you had thrown out there for a while before, and it was sort of then tying into like, yeah, like he won't have an interview on this, but then he's gonna get some spotlight right coming up. So that was definitely a thought. But yeah, if there's any other thoughts on that, then
No, I mean, yeah, there really aren't any.
That's what I thought. Final word.
Not quite. I do have a question here, but I do recommend that so I don't forget it. Brian grabs Charlie's Twitter question.
Yes.
So then we got even BFB Animations who wrote to me specifically. So I'll indulge saying, is voice acting for II ever hard at some points, or is it a thing you enjoy all the time? And anyone else, feel free to jump in on this question. I'll say that I voice acting is rarely a struggle for me. I've done a lot of voice acting within the object show community that has left me tired and out of breath just because I guess I have a knack for falling into characters that involve a lot of shouting or voice grating. But the point to me answering this, I wanted to throw out there that voice acting is an exercise like any other, and you can strain yourself. So anyone who is interested in voice acting, please, please, please be careful with what you do and don't push yourselves too hard, especially if you're doing a crazy, wacky voice. Whenever I go in for knife voicing specifically, I have I have a jar of honey that I just inhale a little bit of, just to like coat the throats, and you make sure that you're not going to be tearing anything. If I went to like a music instructor, for instance, I'm sure that if I told them that I do the knife voice, they would tell me that I am crazy and awful to myself.
Right.
Remember, guys, is everything's performed by animated objects. Do not try any of what you see at home. Seriously, you could get really messed up.
Who's that?
In the chat, welcome.
Is that me phone? Just joined?
Yeah, oh
Wow.
yeah, sure, for sure.
Wow.
Well, that was great. I loved it.
Look at that.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. This is
Welcome.
Taylor Groden from Inanimate Insanity.
Oh yes, what I'm
What are you?
primarily known for.
Yes.
do you disagree?
No, I'm just. No, I just think the way that you said it, I think it's like really funny when someone's like, haha, Adam and Animate Insanity, haha, Justin and Animate Insanity. Like I think it's really funny when it's like, haha, like Sans Undertale, but it's like Adam and Animate Insanity.
I'd love for more people just call me Justin the Knife Guy.
Justin Volcano Claw.
I am Brian in Animate Insanity.
If anyone didn't, hello, I'm Taylor. I didn't get to do a formal introduction because I wasn't here. But I joined an hour late, so that's fine.
It's true.
Welcome.
We started like an hour late anyway, so it's fine.
Yay! So I make up for it.
Yeah.
So great, you'll be here for the last 6.5 minutes that we have left.
Yay! I actually didn't know if you guys
6.5
were
minutes.
ending soon or sticking
No,
around.
no, no.
Oh,
We have no specific plan.
That is a gag. Just
We're
Wow.
hilarious.
Wow.
Did you have a question there, Brian?
I did. I grabbed that same question that you were mentioning from Charlie, which was, I guess this is more of a question for Brian, which is why I loved it. Do you have any thoughts on the creation? Do you have any thoughts on the creation of, or any specific posts on fans' Tumblr? I've always thought it's a really cool, obscure II thing, especially when he made a few posts the night before episode 14 released. That's right. So this is just something that I haven't really advertised a bunch. It was just sort of like a little thing I've thrown out there. I maybe linked to it on my Twitter a few times, just to see if anyone would find it. But it's since been linked. Like, not only can you access it at inanimateinsanityfan.tumblr.com, if you go to inanimateinsanity.com/blog right now, you could see it goes straight to, and this is also the URL that is provided briefly in episode 3 of season 2 when Fan mentions jotting something down in a blog post real quick. So now it goes here. It used to go somewhere on the website. It kind of then fell apart. It's fine. It's on the Tumblr now. And yeah, there are all then these thoughts, and what Charlie is referring to more specifically is that there was some stuff right before episode 14 was coming out that sort of showed fans, like, you know, mental state right after having been like sent it, because 14 takes place right after 13, so there wasn't a lot of time to fill in. But right before episode 14 was coming out, I just did a few posts just sort of to show that Fan was maybe wrestling a little bit with how he felt after Test Tube sort of took Ag away, and he just little things to check out, just to see, you know, build out the world a little bit, make things feel real, nice and cool. So if you want to check that out, by all means, thank you for noticing it, Charlie.
I love
There you
that.
go. Yeah.
I'm appalled that there's been no questions asked to me. Oh, no, I'm joking.
Taylor, you haven't been here, and you're still not here.
Well, I've been dead for 20 years.
For 20 years.
That is a lot of time to be gone.
But speaking
Yeah.
of speaking of 20 years, add a couple years to that, and because we just celebrated a birthday. I don't know if that was discussed already.
No, it wasn't.
It was it was not birthday 2 days ago for Justin.
It
What?
was a Justin birthday. Yay!
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I worked really hard to make this.
That was
far.
it was a horrible transition, but I felt it was worth pointing out, even if
I
it
was
was
so
late.
expecting it to be like 20 years. So that's you cut that in half, and you're going to our anniversary time.
Yeah! Oh my god! In 8 weeks, guys! Wow! April
That's-
1st. Okay.
That is so crazy.
I really
Achievement.
think it's funny because every single time that like April 1st is about to come up and we're like, guys, it's the anniversary, everyone's like, ha, no, it's not. It's April Fool's, and now it's like, I think it's just so funny that people think that we're gonna pull something like a prank, and we know it's our anniversary, guys.
How's the beach coming out? Does anyone like it?
I
Is it
love
look-
this.
I
I
would
want to
chill
go
on
to
that
it.
beach.
I want to go to it when
love
it is safe to do so.
Oh,
There you
I'm
go.
so glad. I'm very glad to hear that.
A little project with that backgrounds.
Yeah, I kind of like this. I like that it's a design stream. I feel like that's nice because I don't have to worry about spoilers or anything, and it's just nice to, I'm drawing a beach, and people maybe are watching me draw the beach, and that's all there is to it.
Oh, that's
Well,
fun.
like they love to say, life's a beach.
Life is truly a beach,
Anyway,
as we learned
and
from
right.
the technical difficulties.
Right.
Yes, I only briefly saw some of those fun things, which we always happen to have every time we start.
I want to
one
make
of
sure
these.
I read this one out because Anna Doodles Art has asked us a few times, and this is specifically directed towards. And I assume this is because this was before you joined, Taylor. This is directed towards Brian, Justin, and Adam. Can you all agree?
Okay, I'll shut up.
Yeah, so just be quiet, please. Can you all agree on one scene, like one frame from any season, any episode, for me to redraw? It would be such an honor to draw your favorite scenes. So let's collectively come up with a favorite frame from the show, any frame from the show that Anna Doodles Art can redraw, because I think that's a lovely idea.
I want to choose one that hasn't been done
Yeah.
because I feel like there are a few I've seen before already.
I'll throw one out there. Give me one of any frame from the scene of which Knife is looking crazed, aggressive, shouting, and Suitcase is looking pensive on their dock scene together in 11.
Ooh. Anything with that doc is always great to see.
The
Yeah,
doc is pretty neat.
I'll sign off on that. There you go.
Do we each give one, or did I just use it up?
They were asking to all agree on one scene, but just in case, I'll also throw out there.
I didn't want to speak for all of them.
No, that's fine. I'll also throw out there just in case if they want another option. In episode 13, in the opening, like the flashback when like Miphone's like reaching towards like the stars in that first flashback, I love the imagery of that. So be interested in our
that's a good one
as well. Yeah. As
I
the
like that a
screen
lot.
protector falls on him, shutting him away from the world he could be a part of. Yes. It's beautiful. Cinema. So
Every frame of painting.
every frame of painting. Yeah. So let's see what then other things are then coming in here. Lulu Girl asked if Miphone 4S is harder to voice or Fan. I feel like, well, Fan is just like, I could very easily slip into the Fan voice now because I've been doing it for so much time. And Miphone 4S is a very specifically cultivated.
Wait, I never got to answer the previous question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was thinking about it for such a long time, and I didn't realize we actually skipped to the next question. But
No. By all means, I thought there wasn't anyone else.
It's hard to come up with a singular like favorite scene, but I remember just a scene that I think is just visually like always just really funny to me was the fake elimination in episode 12,
that's cool.
where test tube is just tied to a pole. It like that. I remember like when we were coming up with that to me was just such a funny concept, especially to the fact that they like just duct taped her and they just stuck a few pieces like on her face, like not like they just like had a few bits and they like put it on her head and they wrapped her to a pole and then everyone's just like around her like cheering and Salt and Pepper like haha you get to choose between the two portals. Like it's certainly not like as like Brian and Justin chose very like meaningful scenes, and of course I'm choosing like a haha LOL scene. I just liked that scene visually just because I thought it was awfully funny that the entire time Test Tube was just tied to a pole with duct tape.
Any scene that is going to immerse you or grab you, it doesn't matter if it's dramatic or comedic. A scene that stands out, that impacts you, that's what it's all about, you know.
Yeah, I never really got to see, like, I don't know. There's so many scenes in the show that I think are just so visually capturing. I mean, not to even mention, like, Justin, you mentioned the dock scene, and I still, every time I go back to 14 specifically, I always love watching the dock scene with
That's a pretty one.
suitcase and baseball.
Yeah.
Like, Adam did a huge feat with that one by like having the water move, and then Sean did the amazing backgrounds. I really love the visuals of that scene, and I think that if you hadn't mentioned your choice for as a dock scene, I probably would have chosen that, but I wanted something a little like probably also a different complete like vibe, you know.
Well,
Oh,
update from
everyone in the comments, vote now. What's the best dock scene? Let us know. There's one in 9. There's one in 11. Well, there's quite a few in 11 technically, but
update from Anna Doodles Art, who asked the question.
is your favorite? Let us
Whoa.
know. Tell us why, and Brian will count up every vote.
No, so Anna Doodles Art, who asked the question, update said, yes, OML, I'm so excited to do these. I'll try doing all 3. Thank you so much, you guys. Adam, if you want to put even more work on Anna Doodles Art plate, by all means, you could also give your scene, since you didn't say one either.
Oh
Yes.
man.
It was
yeah,
supposed to be one collective scene, but you know what? We're giving multiple ones now.
I feel like I don't even want to do that because I don't want to pressure them into making another one that's so much work already. So I'm gonna say
Great.
A
But
backup one for anyone who's bored. I can't stop thinking right now about
Please.
the 14 scene with Taco in the glass reflection.
Oh God.
When she's first invading the ship.
Yes, that was.
Oh, Brian, you and I worked so intensively on
Yes.
the staging of that scene. I remember, like, we sat down for at least for like an hour to talk about exactly how the framing would work for that.
Yes, because I really
and-
wanted to like reveal. That's what reveals Taco in that exact second, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh! And then after you'd see the imagery of Meepad behind Taco, and it's like, oh yes, the Meeple. It's like the Meeple sort of philosophy continuing of attacking these aliens.
Right. And something I remember, Brian, is that it was around that time that I had just started getting into Infinity Train, and
Yep.
I'm not going to say any spoilers, but there was the scene at the end of season 2 that had a really dynamic camera action of the camera basically going from one character across the entire screen, stopping at another character, and then the camera like zooms back out. It's almost like a boomerang. And that scene I took as inspiration when I was boarding the specific part where Test Tube or Taco fires the blaster on the ship, where Test Tube gets shattered. We follow the glass piece to which reflects Taco over to Taco. Then we go back up to microphone, then back to Taco, who fires another laser, which hits fans.
Yeah.
We do circles around the entire room. And I specifically was trying to follow a little bit of what Infinity Train was doing.
Right. I remember you hadn't seen it yet, and I was like, because I was like, I have a reference for you, but I know you haven't watched Infinity Train.
Yeah, I was just watching it.
I was like, you have to watch it. This scene, because when I saw that, all I'll say, when I saw that scene on TV, I felt like it's like one of those moments in a theater where you're just like, oh yeah, rules. It's so good, and it was like by any means how that could be used as an influence.
Yeah. And so I remember I was only like a few episodes into the season, and Brian, you were talking at the end, and I was like, don't tell me. And a couple days later, after I binged it, I immediately went to Brian, and I was like, I know exactly what scene you were describing.
I refused to spoil it. I was like, I cannot send you the timestamp. You must just watch the whole season. You have to watch book 2.
Yes. I did my homework, and it was great. Oh my gosh, Infinity Train is so good. I have not watched anything after season 2. I do want to at one point though. Yes, I know. I should. Another show I really want to watch is Kid Cosmic. I so badly want to watch that.
yeah.
I'm dying to watch it.
Can't wait.
You guys should definitely do that. It's really, really cute and it looks great.
I'm so excited to see it. All the things I've been hearing about, I'm so into. And like Craig McCracken, of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah.
Yeah. His work is always so great, and this is no different. Honestly, it's really fun.
Yes.
So go check it out. It's one of the first Netflix animation originals.
Is
Wow,
it? I thought like there's original like in-house from Netflix, right?
In-house, yeah.
Yeah.
Or was it the first? Because I remember you said it might have been the first. I don't know. Maybe it's not. We'll see. Whatever it is, it's great.
Whatever it is, go watch it. It's really good. At least it looks really good. Like I've only obviously seen the trailer and the visuals are just stunning. So I really and like a beautiful show in itself is certainly not necessarily like going to like it doesn't make it just an amazing show by itself, but it like looks really enticing and I'm willing to bet that the story is as great as the visuals. So I'm really excited.
Yes.
It's really cute. You should definitely check it out.
Yeah, I guess we are answering questions, and I have not been looking at them. Brian, I guess if you have any ready in the cannon to fire, let me know.
Sure. I mean, I was finishing from before with the Lulu girl that like I think me from Forest is the hardly voice to do, and I'll use that as a transition to go into because John McCarthy asked for the immortal line to be said of "Put that cookie down." So there you go.
Brian, that's a voice request. That means it's a pit. No, I'm just joking.
Oh no.
I'm joking.
That's an iconic line. By all means, that's in the public domain. That can be said.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Brian, you write that yourself?
No, it wasn't. That is from Jingle All the Way, a Christmas classic. So
That's not from the Terminator.
That's such a confusing question, Justin. I feel like you would ask, is that it's not from Me Phone for Us? But no, you went, is that not from the Terminator? Not from the Terminator. It should have been.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm being so quiet, guys. I'm so bad at doing design work and then simultaneously talking. It's like the worst thing ever.
It's some people
to give us a recap of what we, the audience, are looking at on screen right now. Feel free to.
Sure. So welcome back, everyone. Today I am drawing a beach here. Originally, it was supposed to be an animation live stream where I animated, one of the characters or something. But I've decided, due to many technical difficulties and more, that I am going to instead focus on the design and potentially do that later.
Ooh, wowee. That's so
I know. It's sad, man. I hate technical difficulties.
Well, you know what? There's a lot
it's part of the industry, honestly, is sitting through those and figuring stuff out.
Yep.
Speaking of difficulties within the industry, Morgan Sandberg asked, by the way, speaking of analyzing, are you guys interested in the movies that are coming out this year? And it's hard for movies to come out anymore, ever. But that said, The Mitchells versus the Machines, formerly known as Connected, and then formerly known as The Mitchells versus Machines, and they got their title back. That one I can't wait to see.
Yeah, wait, okay. I am very excited to see that, but I only briefly heard that the title changed twice, I guess, right?
It changed back to the original title once Netflix got it.
Because they let them have it back, yes.
So. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but is it going to theaters?
I don't
think so.
It's going to be released by Netflix. We don't know exactly when yet, but this is one of my most anticipated movies for a while. Yeah,
I'm crazy hyped for that.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, you got like Luca and Kanto, Riot, Disney, and Pixar. Like,
yeah, of course,
can't not be at least a little excited for that.
Wait, why are you hyped for it though?
For Machines?
Yeah, like I don't know anything about the movie, so I'm just genuinely asking.
Oh well, Adam, have you seen? I mean, it went by a different name, Connected. Did you ever see the trailer for that?
I don't think so. No.
Well, it's the director is Mike Rianda, who was the creative director on Gravity Falls, and it's also produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Love them.
The whole premise just is super interesting. It's about like a film student who I think does animation as well, and it's also about sort of the familial issues of there's in the more older generation there's less of a reverence towards this more modern technology, and it starts in a very grounded place at first of just putting the phone away at the table, and then there's a robot uprising of the movie, and it just seems really cool. I love the way it looks. I'm sure the humor will be great. I can't wait.
I want to call out just 2 comments that I saw that kind of just made me laugh. Well, not really laugh, but they were just really really nice. One was Saul in the chat said, "Wait, there's 14 episodes now? Dang, I missed out. Be right back. Gotta go watch these now." So enjoy watching those. But then the next one I saw was from Hasuni, who said, "Yo yo yo, Inanimate Sanity, y'all are the best at animating." And to answer that, it's well, sometimes we are. Unfortunately, today we're not.
Yeah.
But thank you. That's really nice. What I really like about these animated shorts, and I hate to completely steer away from what you're talking about, Brian, because I would love to talk about that more. But because I feel like it's worth just talking about the shorts really fast, Adam, because what I really like about them is that they're animated in a different style with a different design, and everything's just a little bit different from the actual episodes. And
Totally.
so I really love. I mean, I love how season 2 looks. And I think there's been a lot of people who have always commented that we've improved our animation. And what I really like about these shorts is that we kind of take it and we put it in a different lens and we try something a little bit new. And Adam, I don't know if you probably already talked about, I guess, like your inspirations behind the short, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very clear that a lot of it is Paper Mario
Oh, yeah.
as like an obvious one, but I think there's definitely a layer of South Park inspiration in there as well.
Oh yeah.
In terms of the kind of papery look and everything. But yeah, and then there's always, a little bit of Steven Universe inspiration in my work. I feel like that show is just so beautiful and everything. So yeah, there's a lot of layers. I just did this little umbrella here. I don't know how good this thing looks, but
I really like it, actually.
Oh, thank you.
I like the colors because it like normally I feel like when I see an umbrella, it's like white and red, and that's the classic. But honestly, I think the blue fits this kind. It contrasts with the environment a little bit better, in my opinion.
You know
Yeah,
what?
it fits in a little more.
I love the shade of the umbrella. Huh?
Yeah.
The
Hey,
Brian, how about you save the puns for when you're writing?
You know what? That was great. I don't
Well,
want
say
to
the
be
words.
your shade.
Say any
What's my
words.
shade?
I'm joking because as I wrote the punny tweet the other day, and I was like, this is awful. And Brian was like, no, this is great.
Yeah, puns are fun.
Puns are fun.
Oh my god. What?
You got a problem, Adam?
When you
want
have
something
one
without
character,
cheesy.
it is kind of sad because the puns definitely slowed down. Like I feel like Cheesy went and there were guaranteed a bunch.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wanna share that I did have this idea like for this must have been like for an early maybe like 10, 11, or 12 maybe. I really, really so badly wanted to use a pun for Mike and Taco, which was I wanted Microphone to really, really want to try to like pull the words out of Taco about, like reaching for the portal or what Taco was thinking about. And the thing I wanted to do so badly, even though I knew it was so bad, was I really wanted Microphone to kind of just like be in a really serious moment with Taco, and then kind of turn and go, "Don't you want to talk about it?" And then Taco would just kind of glare at her. I was so badly wanted to do something like that, but I never ever found the right opportunity to fit something like that in.
That's a tough one, but I bet there will be a time when it comes into play.
Oh yeah, I mean, like fan features is littered with puns, and now, which is kind of like we're making up for lost time. And that's kind of one of my favorite things is finding a way to throw in a pun that pertains to the special guest.
It's important. Puns are very important. Here's a little shadow, by the way.
Oh, Adam throwing the shade. Wait,
throwing
Adam,
the
wouldn't the shade? Oh, wait, are you putting a shade under the umbrella?
So yes, basically what I have to do now is I need to reduce the opacity. Like that. And now there's a little shadow underneath.
Wow.
Might be a little bit later than that.
Nice.
Like that. And yeah, so that's an umbrella. There's some light. I think I want some clouds in there too. But I feel like the scene is starting to look a little bit more full.
Yeah.
A little bit more. So I'll take it.
That environment.
Very close to the water here.
I mean, that's the spot you want.
I think so. I mean, look, if the spoiler alert, there's some characters in the water and there's some characters not in the water. So if you want a wide shot of them realistically in the frame, you're going to have to make this character pretty close, unfortunately. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory.
Oh no.
Thanks for paper.
Oh wow, guys! If I take that hill and make it small, it kind of looks like a rock.
That's
Yo.
what I thought it was at first. When I'm not gonna lie, but then I
I
was
guess
like,
it could
oh.
be a rock.
The rock solution is here.
Wow, because the rock I drew before looked really bad. So this is like,
I remember the line, but it's like, it's a boulder. It's a big boulder. It's a rock. And then he rides the rock.
Yeah. Well, the pioneers used to ride those babies for miles. Just so you know.
Yes,
Oh,
that
it's
was
in
the
great
line.
shape.
Brian, as you work at Nickelodeon, I'm sure you know almost every episode by heart.
That's true. Since
Is that part of the job, having to know it by heart?
Well, since I've been working for Nickelodeon for the past 2 months, I take full credit for the pizza delivery episode of SpongeBob that was written in 1999. By all means.
Very nice.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Very nice.
Wasn't there a situation where, Brian, didn't you like recall a line from SpongeBob and someone else didn't know it?
No, I'm sure that hasn't happened. Everyone at Nickelodeon knows exactly what they're talking about.
Wait, no, I thought I could have sworn it was something like someone was wearing like a striped sweater and you made a joke and the person didn't get it.
Sure. I mean, like, yeah, like sometimes it'll happen if someone won't necessarily, like, you know, if it's someone older that didn't then grow up on the show, they won't immediately hear the phrase striped sweater and be like, oh yes, the SpongeBob show.
it took me a second too. It
Yeah.
did just take me a second.
Yeah, but
Right.
for me, it's second nature. For me, I look at a rectangle. First, I think paper, and then I think SpongeBob. You know? Yeah.
What?
That's very funny.
You think of me?
Whoa, look, it's season 1 Marshmallow.
No, it's paper.
No, that just took me back to season 1 when Adam was doing the horrible voice.
I feel like when I was writing this short, I was basically like every time I would write a line, I'd be like, I'd have to read it out loud to make sure the humor was like, because I feel like the humor is purely from Paper's voice. So it's like, oh boy, I can't wait.
I'm so sorry for everyone you live with.
You go like extra hard on that, and I appreciate that.
No problem, man. I really needed to make sure that, you know, what we wanted made it in.
And the viewers can judge whether we did a good job or not fairly soon.
That's right.
Goblin Mouse points out that the best time to wear a striped sweater is all the time. I agree. Yeah. One with
Well, Brian, are you wearing one right now?
You know what? Who knows? The camera's not on.
Oh, that's
What
right.
are you
That's right
wearing?
because we aren't real. We're just figments from the internet speaking into the void. We don't actually have bodies. We're just voices.
The best time to walk into a void
is all the time.
Goodness, one more crack like that and you're out of here, Taylor. No, please.
What do you mean, Mr. Simpson? Don't you want your burger?
Here's your burger, Mr. Simpson.
That's what it was. Yes.
Oh no, this burger's undercooked.
My goodness.
So see, here's what I'm getting at. This we got right here. Yosha Blocks Gaming talking about Paper's voice is higher than before, but then there's other people that are saying that it's deeper than before.
That's what I love when people are like, they're like, oh my god, Paper's voice changed, and like I'm sitting there and I'm like, no, it didn't. It's the same voice. Your ears just haven't heard it in a very long time.
Yeah, I gotta say, guys, I don't get it. I really don't. I want to help me understand. You know, like that's all I'm saying.
I mean, my favorite thing is looking back at like early season 1 Knife, and he's just a lot less groany or gravelly. I don't really know what the right term is. He just sounds a lot more just like, oh hey guys, I'm just gonna go chill. And now it's like, hey, like how it's really like
first
gross.
3 episodes are pretty different. But okay, but the thing is, the most gravelly I would say is like after he gets eliminated in season 1.
Yes.
And like you'll jump back to him in season 1, and you have lines, very bizarre line deliveries that are like, "Hey, Marshmallow, welcome." You know?
I feel like season 1 Knife just didn't know how to like properly syncopate any sentence. Like he would just like extend random syllables and would just. I don't know. I don't know if he had a choice in that matter or if he just kind of went with what felt right.
Well, you know what? He's learned how to communicate with people a lot better in season 2.
That's why his words are not so dragged out, or they still are.
Someone goes, whoa.
There you go.
I like
Not-
that Knife just kind of drags his lines out for some time. The only issue is that like you'll write like a line that should take maybe like 5 seconds to say, and then like it's a Knife line, so it takes like 20 seconds to say.
Justin, how's it feel being such a drag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your problem, not mine.
You have to say it slowly, or else it doesn't make the joke.
Your problem. I can't. I need
See, no, but it sounds like Knife. It's exactly how he talks. It's exactly how he talks. Like I'm not even like exaggerating.
That's not true, but anyway.
No, it absolutely is. Shut up. It really, honestly is.
All right, everyone, vote in the comments. Brian versus Taylor.
And square
Every
brackets.
votes.
Yes, and square brackets. Oh my god. Do you guys remember when we did that live stream where we literally did an elimination and like the person had to leave?
One by one.
And I believe I was the winner, but I honestly don't remember very well because
I
it was
like
years
to
ago.
think I was the winner.
Wait, say it again?
I'm just goofing, saying,
Oh.
I think I'm the winner.
No, we were all winners that day. I mean, let's be honest. But I mean, I also remember that that was when Niall was a little more connected with the group, and he was actually in the stream. And then after he was eliminated, he came back and he's like, "No, this is all wrong. I was built to win. You can't kick me out." And we had to kick him out again.
That's amazing. So good.
Now little Niall has gone over to voice your favorite post on Teapot.
Favorite prime number.
Yeah.
Incredible. So much talent, both the voice acting, the animating, everything about Niall is so impressive.
Yes.
Shout out to Niall.
I don't know. It kind of bothers me that 2 is a prime number.
Explain.
Well, it's the only even prime number, right? That is reason for concern right there.
You're blaming Niall for this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is his fault. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all his fault.
Here's the thing. It's a concern I already had, and Niall, he just then became the face of the problem.
Well, Justin, as a face yourself, particularly a purple one, how would you say? I can't. I don't have anything I'm leading to. I just wanted to make that transition.
just to make the comparison.
I just had to because you said face, and I was like thinking to myself, like, oh, did he realize?
Jeez, any chance he gets to roll out that purple face voice.
Yes, which I.
No, we love it. We love it.
What a cutie that guy is. He wants.
You know
all
what's really
these
weird,
things,
Justin, is
and
I
he
feel like
wants to make it happen.
I feel like I've heard you do that voice before you did Purple Face, and I'm trying to remember where.
Interesting. Like performing as another character, or like
Yeah, or maybe just like doing
I've made
fun.
comparison before. Maybe this is what you're thinking of, but I've noticed upon rewatch that Purple Face has a very, very similar voice to the one that I used for Object Universe's Badge.
Maybe that is what I'm thinking of. I don't know.
Particularly when Badge is like loud and shouting, the voice is pretty much blend together.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. It's maybe just because I've like heard you talk for years now at this point that like I can hear like a voice and I'm like, oh yes, that is just one of Justin's voices that he does. Like it's one of your defaults.
You're talking specifically about when Badge starts seeing the dead people, Justin.
Oh my god, I remember that now.
Yeah. The greatest compliment I could receive is doing a voice and someone not recognizing it. That's why I was so excited about Baton, because I got a few of those.
Oh yeah, Baton. Oh my gosh.
Baton.
What a guy.
Waffling about fame.
That's honestly what I also kind of like about voice acting is seeing just what limits you can push yourself and even make yourself somewhat unrecognizable. I mean, Justin, I think you said the story before of how like you'll play II for someone and they'll hear Knife and you'll be like, yeah, that's me, and they'll look at you and they'll be like, no, it's not.
No,
Like, it's just, like because you just don't have like that like your natural voice is obviously just not Knife, and Knife is such a very different voice from what anybody is used to hearing. So then when you hear Knife and it's this deep gravelly like super like deep voice. I don't know. I feel like you said that before, that even like Adam's dad just
Totally.
can't understand how this
I've
voice.
known this guy for 10 years, and still when I hear Knife, I'm not like, oh, that's my friend Justin Chapman talking.
Oh yes, good old Justin Chapman doing this deep masculine voice.
I'm
just like,
very
"That's
like, man.
Yeah.
The personality fits me entirely. Very, very, very tough and scary. But like, here's the thing. Here's my proposal. If Knife's voice was a real person's voice, what do you think that person would be like? Look like? Like, what would someone imagine there? How
It's
does
hard
that
to-
voice come out of a person?
This is why it's like hard for me to like imagine characters as like, I don't know, like people. It's just because a lot of our characters don't have natural voices. Like
Sure, yeah.
you know, save for a few like baseball, who is literally like Adam, and Fan, who is literally just Brian, but just a little more excitable. Like I think it's you know, when I hear Fan, a lot of the time I think it's Brian, just because I just put the two together, and the same thing goes for baseball. But with, as Brian said, like when I hear Knife, I especially don't think of like, I'm not like, oh, that's Justin, but I do think that when I hear Paper and when I hear Meepad.
Oh yeah. Well, what's nice is
Yeah,
that
that totally makes sense.
people will comment on like the video essays I do, like Genius of Phineas and Ferb's ending and stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm just closing my eyes and picturing fans saying all this," and I'm like, "Great, I'm glad you have that option as well."
That is really cool. But one of my favorite voices that aren't changed, you know, it's just the person's natural voice. I love just listening to Michael Brazone, voice of Lightbulb.
Yes, it's
kind of
just his
speaking.
voice.
I'm like, that you're doing the voice, you're doing it. And of course,
Oh my god,
wait, no, this is just how I talk.
the first time.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, Brian and Adam, you guys, you know, grew up with Brazone as a neighbor, right?
Well, Adam had him as a very specific neighbor. I knew him from school, so I knew his voice like before being Lightbulb. So I never had that of like, oh yeah, well now it's
Yeah.
Lightbulb talking. It's
It
more
was
just
just-
like, that's my friend. Yeah.
Right. It was one of those things, because I didn't actually meet Brazone in real life. Actually, Justin, you and I met him in real life at the same time.
New
at-
Year's, yeah.
At New Year's, yeah, at a New Year's party. And
Yes.
I remember like you and me were like huddled together, like with Brazone talking across the room, and you and me were like huddled together, like, oh my god, it's actual Lightbulb. Like we were just like sitting there, kind of like geeking out over the fact that it's literally like Lightbulb just coming out of this other human being. Because all we had at that point, we had just, you know, heard his voice in the recording, but never seen it come from an actual person. And so once you actually talk to Brazone, I mean, he's the nicest guy. And I just like, as I talked to him about just very casual things, all I could think in my head was, oh my god, this is so cool. I'm talking to actual Lightbulb.
Yeah, I know. No, it's crazy. I mean, whenever I like meeting like Reagan at the meetup, voice of Taco, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it's there. It in real life, it's happening. It's a person. And just a voice that came through with an anthropomorphized being.
I don't think it's ever not going to be surreal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I really don't.
So much.
Wait, hold on, I'll do this.
That's what we're all about on an anime.
I mean, honestly, the same thing also even comes from like, I mean, Adam, like even like your dad has just like this very specific voice, and it's one of those things where even like if I hear him like it's mostly if I hear him over the phone or something, I'll be like, oh my gosh, haha, it's me phone. But if I'm with him in the room, I don't think like, haha, it's me phone. I just think like, oh, haha, it's just your dad.
Over the phone.
Yeah.
Yes, over the phone. Yes, that's why I look at my modern day smartphone, and I hear Adam's dad's voice coming out, and I'm like, ah, haha, it's me phone going out of my.
It's so funny.
Yeah,
I specifically
it is so strange for sure, because I feel like when I'm watching the episodes, like the Inanimate Sanity episodes, I don't hear my dad. I hear me phone. But then when I'm on the phone with him, I would never hear me phone, even though they're the same exact voice. So I feel like my brain like compartmentalizes what I'm listening to.
I mean,
like trained itself.
The percentage of your life that you've identified that voice as me phone will soon like the amount of time you've known your dad's voice, like pretty soon, like it's going to be a larger and larger percentage of your life.
You're not wrong.
It's crazy. Wow. I wonder how you're about this.
Someone asked if Sani Leaf still works on II, and that is correct. He does. He still does work on II.
I saw that question as well from lol no bruh go. So there's your answer.
Can you say that name, but like nicer, please?
Lol. No.
No, bro. Go.
I haven't been. Oh wow, look, it's Adam on the screen.
That's right. Here I am. By the way, look at the lighting, how it's changed since the beginning of the stream. I look way more nighttime.
Everybody, go back in time right now to the beginning to see contrast night and day.
now.
This is classic animation stream. That then you see like the sun has set. Like it's just
The sun is set.
I can't believe
Here I
Animation
am.
made a full sunset tonight.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Wow, look at that.
Look at that chair right there.
Oh yeah, those are some old assets from the Infinity timeline, and I don't believe that that's where a chair goes, like directly underneath the like the umbrella was just layered on top of it. It looks funny.
Oh.
Where do I put this? Yeah, how do I make this look good? Like
Well,
this?
the chair should be underneath it in the sense that the umbrella.
No, yeah, you got it kind of in the right spot. I think you kind of got it. The chase does have a shadow under it, so you probably could just want to remove that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then you might want to like, stylize it if you want to kind of like make it more similar to what you want to do for the short.
Can you put it
Thinking
on
black
top of the umbrella?
outlines for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna want to change a few things up here, like these lines.
I like
black.
that.
Like this. When I'm talking.
People are quoting light bulb in the chat. It's really funny. Someone said one of my favorite light bulb lines, which is normally I wake up at 7:36, feel so rebellious, or normally I go to sleep at 7:36, feel so rebellious.
I mean, it is a pretty good line, right?
That line wasn't in the script, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I don't think so.
No, and like I'm willing to bet money that it wasn't in the script. It was just kind of one of those things where I think we just had a nighttime scene where Lightbulb was still on the chaise lounge, and she was just supposed to pick up her chaise, look around, be like, "Ooh, this is weird," and walk away. But Berzone's like, "No, I'm not going to let this go without me improvising a really funny line," and then pulled that off.
Oh yeah, and the funny part is, the key is you always get a read of the actual line just to make sure, because you always need that. But then almost every single other line, he usually is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna try something." I'm like, "Okay," and then he'll do it, and then he'll be like, it'll be so funny because then halfway through the session, I'll be so used to him being mostly improv, and then I'm like, "Okay, well, what do you got this time?" And he'll be like, "I don't know, nothing." I'm like, "What? What do you mean? You can't do that."
The bedtime is 7:46, by the way. Please get it right.
Taylor!
Oh, my bad. Well, actually, to be fair, the comment itself just said 7:30, and I was like,
Oh,
"Well,
blame it on the fan.
yeah. Everybody's at fault today."
No, that literally, I'm pretty sure that was just, he said it, and then it was like, okay, let's animate this because it's just great, and put it over the credits.
Yes, no, it was great, and I remember that running back to little old Zany Leaves wanted to animate that scene specifically.
Oh, well, yeah, it's so iconic.
Yeah. Niall, we miss you. Just kidding. No, we do.
I miss Niall a lot.
I haven't talked to him in like 2 years.
I'm sad. Niall, come back.
Come back. No, you're doing good work, buddy. You're doing good work.
Nothing but love.
I certainly yes, absolutely. He actually has been releasing some other types of animations as well on his channel. So go check out Zany Leaves on YouTube, and he also does Minecraft somewhere else. You can go find that. I'm gonna look
I
around
want
for
that
other
on my
questions.
tombstone. He does Minecraft.
He does Minecraft. Justin, I will make sure that you get a tombstone that says that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, first you have to make sure he gets a tombstone.
Well,
Yeah.
Adam, that's part of the plan. Adam, that's always been part of the plan.
I know.
First,
Look,
make sure you get the tomb.
Yeah,
I mean,
guys, I don't know. Tombstone's fairly pricey from what I recognize.
Justin, maybe you can use some of your birthday money and we can get you a tombstone. Because I mean, hey, date's coming up.
More like your death day money.
Yeah. Happy death
yeah,
day.
you tell him,
My
Brian.
wife.
You tell him.
Just wanted to reference the Happy Death Day duology. Great movie. Anyway,
All right, load it up, Brian. We're gonna watch them right now.
live commentary.
Everyone, 3, 2, 1, click. Brian, give your commentary.
All right. Okay. So in this scene, you see, it's kind of like Groundhog Day, but I don't want to compare it. Not all time loop narratives should be compared to Groundhog Day. So I'm not going to mention Groundhog Day for the rest of the 2-hour commentary. Okay. Now, is doing a harm? Nah, I'm going to stop. Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
I was waiting to see just how long you were gonna ride that out. So I was like, am I really gonna sit here for 2 hours while they just like pretend that they're doing a live commentary of a movie?
Taylor, how often do I commit to a bit for 2 hours? Only once a day.
I
This,
commit
this
to
whole
the-
live stream is me committing to a bit for 2 hours.
Me
Yeah,
getting out
yes.
of bed. That's a good one. You know? So, Adam, what is the update? Where are we right now in the
So-
design?
I know I've spent a very long time on this beach, but this this background is going to be used a lot in this video, and I'm also a little bit rusty with my design stuff. But
Hey Adam, remember to save.
yes, I did. Actually,
So-
the file did crash before, but
Oh
I
no.
think it's actually in a good spot. I think this looks good because normally I put a paper filter on it, so I don't want to overload with information. But
So-
the cool thing, yeah, is that you can if I go here and I can basically do a 2-cycle, so I like slightly adjust the line work, you know what I mean? And then this water will have like a
You're
slight,
actually gonna make it move. Yes.
yeah, it's gonna be very slight.
I hate to say that I have quite the grievance with this background.
Oh no.
When
What's
I read
wrong?
the script, when I read your glorious script, I had pictured that it would be, I suppose, horizontally flipped, sand on the right side. So, can you fix that?
I mean, I could.
Don't. It's good. It's good as.
I actually pictured it this way.
No, this is the way I pictured it too, Justin.
What?
You
Yeah.
just have horrible vision.
No way. You're lying. There's only one correct way to imagine things when they're written.
I think we're gonna have to leave you out to dry on this one, Justin. Sorry.
What?
Yeah.
You want to ruin my dryness?
Wow, what a great Object Show 87 paraphrasing. Excellent.
That's what I exist for.
It's true. I do exist only for Object Show 87 reference.
Yeah, Brian, here's a question for you, and I don't know why this is directed at you, but I think this is great. From Among Sonic, Brian Koch, do you know if they animate with Adobe or something else? Brian, do you know?
I mean, I know.
It's a yes or no question. We got to move on now.
Brian, what do they use?
Yes, they use that Adobe Animate weird thing. I don't know how it works, but it's Adobe.
I just thought it was funny that it was directed specifically at you, and I thought it was cute.
Yeah, no, it is cute to think that I would know such a question. I'm so stupid. It's cute.
You just thank you. You said you read my mind.
Let's do this.
It's just cute when they ask Brian a question. It's like asking a hamster a question.
Answer. He doesn't know the answer. What do you think he's here for? He doesn't do anything.
Let me talk to my puppy. Oh, what do you think, puppy? Oh, yeah.
Next thing that's gonna happen is someone's gonna say, "Hey Taylor, what does Brian write with?" I'm gonna be like, "I don't know, a pencil."
Yeah. What is it? A pencil? Yeah.
Or text edit. I have never used that program for anything except when I was in like 6th grade.
I write everything in pages, actually.
Oh, thank you very
No,
much.
I have a question for Taylor. Not from the audience, from me.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Do you get upset when? Clearly, the answer is yes. But do you get upset when people claim that that you made the Inanimate Answers opening in Flip-a-Clip?
Well, no, because am I supposed to be upset? What is?
I don't know. I all I know is that you worked hard at it and you're Adobe Animates, and I
Yeah.
sometimes you don't like being misrepresented.
I mean, honestly, my, whatever program you decide you want to use for animation is like, do what you can honestly. I don't know, like, Adobe Animate's a tough program. Like, I think that goes without saying. So, like, if you want to use a program like Flip-a-Clip, I've never used it before, so I have no idea what the caliber is with
There's
it.
a lot of really cool fan art animations.
And
with
I
that.
bet, yeah, I think I've probably seen something from it. I've just never used it myself. But no, I used Adobe Animate for that intro, and Justin, I remember I sat with you as we designed the intro for Inanimate Answers because I really wanted it to sync up with that piano little tune that I grabbed for you.
The opening is a Taylor specific masterpiece.
Well,
That's how
with
far
some
back
Justin production thrown in there, because
Okay.
you and I
that's
talked
an
about.
oversight, basically. Inputs, yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah, because we worked on it, and I remember like you and I mean, I designed you, or I'm sorry, you and Justin are completely different characters. I designed Justin in the Adobe Animate. I'm so tempted to always say Flash, but of course I shouldn't.
don't
But
say it,
yeah,
no.
I've never used Flipbook before, but
Maybe we should
uh,
do a flip thing.
that's, you know what, and Inanimate Sanity episode 15 is gonna be in Flipbook, guys. It's confirmed.
As Charlie stated, Flip Nation, rise up. Yeah.
Adam, are you gonna abandon your masterpiece here and go work on the short in Flipbook?
You know what? I think I am. All right.
By the way, I do really like the way you made the water here.
I'm back. See, I abandoned my animation duties, and instead, I am here with you guys just via video.
Ooh.
Oh, you actually left.
Yeah, I turned it off.
That's funny.
Look at that.
Well, I mean, if the audience wants what they want, we'll have to go back. I'm pretty happy with where this is at. I don't want to overdo it too much, but the water moves slightly, see?
Yeah, and Adam,
So-
I mean, if you want, maybe we could get started on a character.
We could totally put a character in the thing.
I mean, it's up to you.
To recap, Taylor, there's an issue with not being able to hear the audio for the
I
animation.
can't
That's-
personally hear you.
Adam can't hear it. I was gonna say it doesn't matter if the audience
Yeah,
can
yeah,
hear it. I was gonna say.
specifically the person animating. Yes.
I see. Well, maybe we can solve that another time.
But
in the-
what we could do is we could open up let's see.
Get him from the thumbnail.
I want to test it for scale really quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put
In the
Nicolas here.
meantime, are there any questions that we want to answer?
I see Tiny Genius said, Brian, that pun was horrible. And here's the problem. I've had so many horrible puns, I don't know which one they mean.
Let's just assume all of them.
That's what I'm gonna do when I try to fall asleep tonight and I can't because I'm so upset. Okay.
Brian, you sleep?
Brian.
That's true. I'm kidding. I never sleep. Let's see. Why are there so many questions that are at me? Question: who is your favorite contestant on Teapot? Brian, 2 included, which is interesting because 2 is definitely not a contestant on Teapot. So I don't know. But if
And
you're
I mean, like,
I'll say
I was gonna say two's great, even though they're not a contestant. I think that they're
Very
really great,
common.
and I think mostly because Niall's humor really, I don't know, it really accentuates the 2 personality. So that's really, I think, what makes it so great.
Yeah, I mean, I also know there was several. Paper Matt 46 has asked this a number of times as well, and this is also directed at me. But they asked, "Are you more excited for Luca or Turning Red, which are 2 upcoming Pixar films?" And trust me, I'm extremely excited for both of them. So that's the thing. I don't know if you've seen any of all the stuff at the upfront. Lightyear, hello, what a crazy
That's the
presentation.
one I'm excited for.
I mean, obviously, I have a bias towards that, but I can't wait to see what comes of these original projects as well. I'm super into. I mean, look, Turning Red, Domichi, the director of the short Bow, the one that was in front of the
Yeah.
that's who's doing Turning Red. So I loved Bow, so I can't wait to see what's brought to that. But
I'm most interested in the softball
Win or Lose.
Disney Plus series. Yeah, that's what it's called. Right.
Yeah.
That sounds very specific and personal in a way that I feel like I'd super dig.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that. No, so many cool things in the pipeline. I'm excited to see. Look, Pete Doctor running things over there. He knows what he's doing. Love that guy.
He's a doctor after all.
He's a doctor of amazing emotional storytelling. Look, Soul. Look at that. This guy, he goes, I'm gonna make Monsters Inc. Then I'm gonna make Up. Then I'm gonna make Inside Out. Then I'm gonna make Soul. I mean, no choice but
He had it all planned out from the start.
he did. When he drew that taco, he said, "I know that this is gonna be Soul at one day." Earlier,
It is pretty. His track record is unbelievable.
it's amazing. Yeah.
It really, really is.
Yeah, and honestly, considering Monsters Inc. is one of my favorite movies, and like I feel like Monsters Inc. is one of those movies that I can rewatch 100 times, and I'll happily watch it again and again and again. It's always entertained me. And it makes me think, Brian. Remember when we went to Disneyland and we rode the Monsters Inc. ride?
Yes, I was so excited to finally do that because I had seen video of it so long. I'd never been to like Disney California Adventure.
Yeah, and I have a video of when we were on it. But do you remember the very end? What was her name?
Roz.
Roz, like, okay, at the very end of the Monsters Inc. ride, they have like this they have Roz who's there. She's an animatronic, but Roz will actually like interact with you and actually like say things to you at that time that actually like I guess maybe someone must be like watching you and like doing an impression or something like that. Because I had
pre-programmed into it. I think it's Bob Peterson who voiced like a Pixar employee who voiced Roz that they just have like ready. So like I think in your case you were filming something.
Yes, and
they have like a button they can.
And she called me up. She's like, "Young man in the front row, I hope you get my good side." And I was like, "Oh my god, how did you know?" And like we just started like laughing because it was so I was so caught off guard. I think I'll try to post that video later just because of how funny it was.
I'd love to see that again. I can't wait for Monsters at Work too, as well.
That's right. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody asked in the comments, and I just want to make sure I clear this up. Someone asked, "Is the animation about paper, yin yang, and nickel?" And you are 1/3 correct. The animation is about paper, but nickel and yin yang, I believe, are just placeholders at the moment. Adam just wants to test them out for scale. There are two other characters, or there are a few other characters in the short, but I don't want to say who they are.
Taylor is absolutely correct. Yes. So so nickel and yin yang actually aren't in the short at all. But this is going to be a really fun test to see kind of if this style is working. One thing I'm realizing is I thought I put a shape underneath yin yang that I'm not seeing anymore.
Yeah, I remember seeing that there before. Maybe you just put it under a layer or something like that.
I must have deleted it. I guess I'll have to
Mr. Braden Whiteside in the chat, always watching.
Always.
Oh my gosh. Brian, I think we should do our best Pixar impressions.
I would definitely listen.
There's a lot of so many of the voices are so specific. I mean, which other one would I even do? I'm not gonna try to do like Tom Hanks, Woody. Like I don't know.
Do the "You Are a Toy."
Okay, you are a toy. You're the real Buzz Lightyear. Oh, you're an action figure. You child play.
Also, this is the I think this is the final frame here.
I do like how this looks. I guess swap out nickel for paper and yin yang with censored character.
That sounds about right. Yeah. I like that. Well, perfect. I'm pretty happy with this. And so I think this is going to be a good place for me to pause my animation journey here.
Maybe what we should do, Adam, if you're down, unless if you want to stop the stream here, obviously you can. But if you want to keep going, maybe we could open up like a little little Aggie and draw or something.
Oh man, I mean, I would love to, but I don't have my like drawing pad or anything. I could do it with my tablet.
Okay.
Also, the tricky thing with that, one thing I hate about OBS. Here, wait, I'm gonna go back to myself. One thing I hate about OBS is that you can't adjust without everyone in the audience seeing what you're doing. And it's very, very upsetting. Like it'd be really nice if you could adjust and see what you're doing in OBS, but people like in the stream, don't see every little thing you're moving in real time. Because you could reveal something sensitive, especially if you're on a work computer. So I'm going to have to decline. But that would be fun if we prepare.
No, that's okay. I know I certainly want to try to have a little bit of a different setup when it comes to streaming, because we did some really, really great streams early in the year. We were part of Opticon 2021, and they had an amazing setup. That was super, super cool.
So I guess Adam, try harder next time.
By the way, I am both impressed and unimpressed with myself because I feel like I put this together within like 10 minutes, but then the technical difficulties took too long. So, I guess I'm really not today proud of myself, but you know what it is.
Yeah, Adam, you didn't do anything productive today. You didn't make any backgrounds or anything.
Nothing. No meetings, no backgrounds, nothing. 0% productivity. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with where we're at with this beach. It could be a little nicer, but I feel like when I put the paper texture over it and the characters are moving, I don't want it to be too complicated. So
I do really like this beach. I think it looks really pretty.
thank you. I'm happy with it too. I'm probably gonna play around with it before the final, but I feel satisfied with where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So, and it's good practice for sure.
It looks great. I love it. Look, it was on the fly. That's what a lesson is in this live stream. You know, you can't plan things too far ahead. You're gonna get curveballs thrown at you, but that's just you bounce back.
That's just life, and life's the beach.
That's okay, because I could bounce back.
You bounce back.
To the beach and then you set sail.
Exactly.
Oh man. Well, I guess this is a well, actually I have a question about the stream itself. Has it been actually running pretty well since it started? Like, has it cut out a ton? And I haven't really seen that.
I only saw it lag a few times, like way less than usual. So that's good.
Okay, well that's pretty great because I actually set it to be 20 frames a second at 720p instead of 30 frames a second at 360p. So I don't know if that worked, but I guess we'll find out at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll happily
How
take
many
some
frames
questions.
does a kid need?
If you guys want to ask me questions, I will be totally down.
Let's see what then is going on.
Time for a round of Ask Adam.
It's true. Finally, it's coming back. My goodness. I love the way that faded.
Yeah, I was.
I know.
Right, you got me. Well, wait, Adam, did you talk about this original background though?
Oh, yeah, I could talk about the original background. So, guys, in the background of this thumbnail is a beach that looks similar but stylistically different than the one that I just made. That is because this study that I did was actually from 2 or 3 years ago that I did just kind of for fun. And I was scrolling through my Instagram recently, just kind of looking at what I had posted previously. And I'm like, wow, you know, I really liked this image that I had made. And I kind of wanted to make it the stylistic inspiration behind my own. I made the art that I made the inspiration for my own artistic thing, which is kind of sad. But you know,
that's cool though. You're reusing something like from the past, and I mean, I love the colors of both the original thumbnail you made and also the beach that you made. I really think that it has, I don't know, it has this vibe to it with like
warm temperatures.
I did see a question.
Weird, but
I did see a question that I kind of liked, and maybe we could, if I don't know if we were answering questions or not.
Yeah.
I saw one from Goopy who asked, I've been asking for a while, but what's the hardest scene to animate throughout the series? And I think maybe we can, so we can change it up to like, what's the hardest scene that we've individually done? I know that I can say that, like, I mean, we have a really fantastic group of animators who work with us, and they've all done such a fantastic job. I know that with episode 14, one of the most intensive scenes was when the spaceship was attacking the group. Right when Phone's like, he's here, meatbag, Cobbs is here for me, and that whole scene that was done by White Animator Ivan. He's super talented, and he made that scene like so smooth and with a lot of just like cool stretches and little fun details in that as well. That was a really intensive scene. But Adam, what do you think the hardest scene you animated in the entire series was?
Oh man, that is a really good question. I feel like, honestly, you know, some people say like, oh, honestly, the hardest scenes for me are the ones that are the most simple because they're so deceiving. For me, that's not the case. Usually it's like, if there's lasers and jumps and flips, and it's probably harder to animate, TBH.
You made me just think of the scene where Test Tube was like, the golly gosh goodness from the maze in episode 10.
Yeah, that was not easy. But those also, I wish I had like a better answer, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Do you have any answer for that, Taylor?
For you?
For you, for the hardest scene that you've done.
You know, and okay, the one that just really pops into my head, okay, because like I'm not gonna take like I'm gonna try to like stray away. I mean, because my scenes for episode 14 were well, they were hard, but they weren't impossible. And I think back to the scene where um, just going back to episode 10, like when Nickel, Balloon, Suitcase, and Baseball were walking through the maze, and then they go down that like dangerous path. Like I remember I animated that like that huge chunk where all the weapons pop out of the walls and they shoot all different types of lasers at them. That was a really tough scene, not only because it was long, but because it had 4 characters, and obviously the more characters you have in a scene, the harder it's going to be. And there was a lot of different emotions flying throughout that whole part, and tons of effects. And there was also just so much movement and shading and colorings and stuff. So that one pops into my head as one of probably like top in the top 5 of the hardest scenes I've done. I'm trying to think of other ones I've done. I feel like episode 13 had a couple hard ones. I know the hardest one that was toughest to finalize, and Adam, you can certainly back me up in this, was the minecart scene in 13.
Oh yeah, that was not easy.
Right.
Very true.
Really, really tough. And I I really remember working on finalizing that scene for days.
Yeah, that was not easy. That was really not easy. But I feel like we learned so much through making that we kind of used as time went on.
Yeah. No, totally.
Like to get that visual dynamic thing, and there's the characters' emotions tracking, but then there was the quick cuts, and it was like, oh man, we're gonna have to design sets for this. And
I want to twist the question a little bit to include Justin and Brian in this, because I'd be curious what their answer is. Because we got the question of what was the hardest scene to animate, and I would love to twist it in a form for you guys and say, what do you think for you guys was the hardest scene to personally write?
It's so weird because I was going to ask that question to Justin right after you guys were done.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
If you want to go first, Brian, because I'm still thinking on that.
You know what I think was what came to mind first, because there's obviously we pour a lot of heart into everything. But in episode 13, just the way in which the flashbacks were integrated throughout was definitely a huge challenge, because I wanted to make sure, like, there was so much discussion of like, is this a thing of Mifone sits them all down and like tells them a backstory, or is it integrated so that they could be doing the challenge and the backstory also then is being interspersed throughout, and figuring out the way in which it could then be done, and like having the gemeries and all of that, and like and like each one sort of ties into like the character that
we went through a lot of iterations of how to introduce those flashbacks.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Right. Like maybe they would even have been like in the flashbacks at one point, like the character, like, oh, like Lightbulb is in like the room with like Mifone and
or in the place of Mifone, like literally acting it out. But I remember that we even thought that would actually be too difficult to actually kind of follow. I mean, in the end, I'm pretty proud with like what we ended up going with.
Oh, absolutely. Because I think what it came down to is we realized, as interesting as that would be to have them like in those positions, like you want to be able to emotionally connect with Mifone, like, and the story happening. And if you don't actually see Mifone in the place of where he was, even if you know like factually that it was him, I don't think you have that like visceral connection to it as much when like all the stuff goes down and like he leaves and everything. So that's really where it came down on that. But it was very challenging because there were so many different ways to go. Yeah, so that's what came to mind for me. Throw it to Justin.
I was hoping we'd forget to ask Justin.
Sorry.
Justin, we haven't heard you talk in years.
Sorry for including you. It won't happen again.
Again, throwback to
I'm so good at writing everything. Nothing's hard.
Oh, I see.
Cheese and crow. I mean, I think back to a lot of like the simpler scenes that we just had 1,000 drafts of. I'll think about like the scene that's ultimately Knife, Suitcase, Baseball, just talking about their plan, strategizing. And it's tough because there's a lot you need to establish in a single scene while keeping it fun, but it's also about like which specific points to tackle. It's like, well, how hard are we going to show that they're going to fixate on test tube, and at what point does it like draw a line of like making it like maybe too obvious that they're focusing on her, which means that something bad is probably going to happen relating to her.
That was
we went through a lot on that. I think it was Adam who to my recollection, who ultimately cracked that. But that was probably the last full scene that was
Yes.
really written, because that's the only scene that I had to revoice after my first voice acting
Yes,
session.
I actually do remember that. That was going to say you're 100% right that was the last scene that we kind of went through and did a different draft of.
I think I'm trying to remember. Were we primarily motivated to rewrite it because we wanted to really thread through baseball's arc, in addition to like
Yes.
chemistry between everyone? Yeah,
There was definitely an iteration where it was all knife, 100%, right?
Yes, I remember Knife had some really like ooh, there's an echo. But I remember Knife had some really more in your face comments about like that baseball should like totally just make this choice and go with it. And but I think we were still trying to figure out like how obvious do we want it to be? We really want to be in baseball shoes during this. So do we want to leave it in an ambiguous situation and then because if we 100% know he's going to vote for test tube before the elimination, well then someone could easily just kind of calculate the numbers in their head and be like, oh no.
right, exactly. I think we realized it was less of a concern of like, is it necessarily like predictable if that test tube is then going out? Because also Mike would be such a surprise. What was really important was that baseball, we were tracking the journey of he wasn't sure if he wanted to vote out his friend, and then it sort of has that mirror that we build to in the elimination of like nothing personal and realizing
Right.
that's what Suitcase did to him previously. He didn't really understand it, and now he understands it then a bit more. So we wanted to make sure that that was clear. So, but yeah, it's just a simple, grounded scene. And it's also like, oh, the pacing, like how it's then structured in, because it's like it's such an up when then Test Tube then rockets off to say fan, and you're like, oh, it's then tricky to put this in because it's like more of a.
Yeah.
It was really hard. Like there were so many things that were difficult with it, but I'm happy with how it came out.
Oh no, totally.
Absolutely.
And I was also going to say that like I know that when it comes to writing certain characters, I feel like all of us are a little more comfortable in the shoes of certain characters. And with baseball, I remember Justin, you recalled that Adam kind of was the one who kind of figured out the best sort of response that baseball could have. And I feel like that certainly comes from baseball being such a he's a very candid character. Like I feel like he's the most real of our characters when he speaks. He speaks like I feel like I don't know he speaks like a real person. Given if he's in one of these situations, and that's why there's a lot of situations where he's torn on what decision to make. Much like I don't know, I know that I have that problem as well on making decisions, but a real cheaty right here. But I know that when I know that when I don't know, Adam, I feel like that when you write baseball, he ends up feeling the most natural. And that was a scene where I remember we weren't really feeling baseball. I guess we weren't really feeling like it was truly a truly baseball scene until you kind of stepped in and had a bit of a different take on some of the lines. And all of a sudden, like you had just like a few different responses he could say. And we were like, whoa, this kind of seems to flow a bit better now.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like there's a lot of ways that you could approach it. But for me, I think we got kind of lost in the weeds a little bit. And so
which we do a lot.
We do. And I remember that situation. I'm like, well, I was just trying to go back and I'm like, what was the original intention of this scene? Like, what was it supposed to say? How was he supposed to feel in this moment? And once we kind of like dialed back and reassessed, I feel like it became more and more clear what we should do,
Yeah, no, totally.
Right.
On a slightly lighter one, but in a similar vein, we got a question on Twitter that's similar from that super dude who said, I have a question this is directed to Adam, but we can kind of open this up to everyone. Which character do you think is the hardest to voice? And then they said, and by the way, belated birthday art for Justin. And there he is. There's some birthday art for you on Twitter, Justin. You can go take a look.
Thank you so much, that super dude.
But since we were talking about baseball, Adam, I figured this was kind of be like a good transition since you voice baseball. Who do you think is the hardest character for you to voice act?
Oh man, I'm gonna say Test Tube, just purely based on like the amount of energy. I don't know if lungs is the right, but like it. Yeah, I enjoy it a lot, but it's brutal on my voice.
No, for sure.
Makes sense.
I guess that's my answer.
Ryan, I think you answered this earlier, right?
I had said, yeah, 4S probably then makes the most sense of just I still don't know how that voice even comes out of me. That's just
I don't either.
a bunch of it was the pure need of I was like, hey, it'd be so funny. It's the new iPhone and we have a new phone and it's like a Terminator, like the Terminator movies. I'm so cool. And it was like, well, what are we gonna do? We don't have anyone who could do the voice. And I was like, well, I'll learn it, I guess. And then I made myself learn it. So yeah, it's strange. I shouldn't be able to do that voice. It's very bizarre.
I love it. I think that's how it's done. You
Yeah.
know, you
Yeah.
pick it up on the fly, and boom, there you go.
Well, it took a lot of flying. So
This isn't flying.
You mean falling?
that's true. I fell a lot through that process.
Jesus, bro.
What
Well,
about
for me, I guess it's a matter of what do you think? But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess knife in those terms. TBH, I don't. If I ever needed to reprise Baton, I'm curious how that would go. And sometimes it's just a matter of not having practiced it much. In any show, hardest voice, I've said this before, is stupid evil PS Vita, which is full on
Oh,
gruff talking like this, but also it's getting really big emotion with the growling. It's
but that's not your only evil host that you voiced. with that
right. Well,
same
there's
voice.
also Evil Window.
Yes.
And,
I just think it's so funny that if there's an evil, I mean, obviously made by the same person, but
Yeah.
evil character must be voiced by Justin Chapman with like gruff, manly voice.
Right.
I am the evil one. Like, but yeah, the Evil Window voice is pretty much identical.
My
but we
favorite-
pretend that it isn't.
My favorite thing is just in Object Show 87 when it's like every character is explaining like why they're doing this evil D at the end.
I'm
Evil
evil,
D is
so
yeah, I'm evil, so this is kind of my thing.
kind of this is how it works.
That was so funny.
I love that scene so much of like this is who I am now. No, it's not.
No, it's not. You're just being stupid. Come on down.
You're broken a little bit, so just calm down and stop crying out.
I thought that was so funny. And to answer, I mean, as you guys probably saw it in that wonderful video where I tried to record a line and failed. Hardest character to voice for me is Toilet, and it is a mixture of what Adam said, where it's a pretty big strain on my lungs, my voice, and my head. I get migraines when I voice Toilet, depending on just how much I do it. I mean, I haven't done it in a little while, but in the early days when he would speak many lines in episodes, I would have to lie down and like take medicine after I would voice him because my head would hurt so much from just screaming in this crazy high pitched voice. But yeah, Toilet is certainly the hardest one for me.
A lot of the yelly characters get really tricky. Just in terms of like the strain on your voice is pretty tough, but then also like it's sometimes harder to get the same, like you almost don't buy it when they're more subtle because you just know their personality. And
that is what's so hard, especially with Fan. When I was like, he has then these like the stuff in episode 13 and 14 when his voice is like, you know, a little softer and stuff. It was like oh gosh, like what am I? Especially when he had become all the more energetic over time. It has to sound authentic. It can't just be like, oh, here's this dumb voice that's suddenly trying to sound emotional. Like
Same thing for me with Paintbrush, because with Paintbrush getting so angry, it was I enjoyed the actual like chore of trying to really make them sound angry, and I'm proud with how it came out because I feel like they get a certain tone in their voice when they get really angry because and that sort of becomes something I've adopted, that when I voice Paintbrush, there's a little it's different from my natural voice. But when you get angry, I've never gotten angry enough at somebody where I had to shout like this. And so when I had to record for Paintbrush, especially for episode 12, when they get really angry, and in episode 10, it's just so many times when they get angry. You really have to like I got so steamed for that role, and I was so like I had to grip my hands, and I had to kind of like stand in a certain pose, and I would point at things and be like, "What are you doing?" I'm not gonna do it now because I don't want to be loud, but I was like, "What are you doing?" and get like super angry. But I certainly feel what you're saying, Brian, because you have to make the voice convincible that this character is truly, truly angry. Like, I feel like if you had asked little stupid season 1 Taylor to be angry for an OJ voice, I would be like, what are you talking about? I have to be angry? Okay, grr, I'm angry. Like that, it's not the same.
No, yeah, and really compliments towards your acting, Taylor, as Paintbrush, and especially like episode 12 and everything. Like the wide range that's in there is truly like it's so good. Like very definitely nailed it.
The last thing I'll say about that. The last thing I'll say about that is that my favorite thing listening back on episode 11 is that when Bo gets angry, you can hear a bit of Paintbrush in her voice, because that's just how I naturally decided to sound when I started yelling at something. And so like when Bo gets angry and she's like, I don't remember the line, but
just
she's like,
make it true, like that.
All that part. I don't know. You hear a bit of Paintbrush leak out in her voice, which I think is actually kind of funny, just because I don't know. That's just kind of what naturally occurred.
There's a really fascinating quality to Paintbrush, their voice coming out of Bo when directing that anger towards Marshmallow. Paintbrush being the person who's about to be ditched by Marshmallow for who knows how long, right?
That's an interesting take, Justin. I never thought about that.
It's really fun to think about for sure.
What do you guys think of the Green Mountains, by the way?
Oh,
you'll have to wait. The
green, they're kind of like grassy hills, but they've always been green. They've been green for the last like 30 minutes, but they used to be. There's like one blue one on the side. But I think
kind of, if I'm honest, I kind of liked a little how they were before, just because I felt that now my eyes go to the green first because they're such a different color. I feel like when they were more on the, I guess whatever previous color they were, whether it was blue or gray, maybe there's a way you could kind of like do a compromise and have some like a mixture. I don't know if that would look good or bad.
Or if we made them like more faded into the background color.
That's what I was going to say. The atmospheric. There's a term that I learned.
You're talking about a little bit.
Yeah, Adam. That's already. I mean, from what I'm seeing on stream, that's already starting to blend a little bit better. I love that already.
Yeah. No, that was a good call.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
How many color iterations did we have for the little box that Fan was contained in when he was first abducted?
Oh gosh,
at least like 3 or 4.
Oh my god, yeah.
You mean the Steven Universe one?
Yeah. Well,
the one that I stole from Steven Universe.
Stole it, Adam. Oh my god, no.
It's so funny that color scheme that it ended up being in the final version was very late. That it was then tweaked to be that. We just were like, oh, then this looks nicer, and then everyone was like, well, Steven Universe. We're like, yeah, no, that. I mean, that shot was like one of the like. There were several references that then I had gathered of. It was like, oh, the room from the Steven Universe episode, The Trial, that weird room from the Wrinkle in Time trailer, which is a movie I haven't even seen, and then also like the Hotline Bling kind of like stuff. The idea was some sort of like atmospheric, minimalist background. As Fan says, it's exceedingly minimalist. So it's that whole vibe.
Oh yes. I love that line because like that was the first time. Like, okay. I don't recall if the exceedingly minimalist comment was in the original script, but that was something where I was like, okay, because Fan says this, we really have to make this room bare bones.
Yeah, because I was also trying to play into like, that's another line that shows like he thinks it's Cobbs, he thinks like it's the false lead, and he's like, yeah, the design, like, and look, that's what I like, the sort of appley meepley thing of like it's sleek, that minimalist vibe, so he would buy into it. He's overthinking it.
The funny part is that I think that's like that line to me is just the smallest bit of like the scrapped 14 idea of the flip personalities kind of shining through a little bit. Because Fan was supposed to turn into this like world like shattering critic where he would insult a bunch of stuff, and I remember we had that idea where he would like comment about like the cage he was being kept in and how like poorly made it was, and the aliens would be like, what are you talking about? And he would like walk out from behind it and he's like, yeah, like that was on the wrong layer or something like that, and he would somehow be like manipulating the actual world itself using his critiques and kind of shattering it. But obviously that didn't fit into the final story at all. That was well before we even had an idea.
Well,
Oh, boy.
as we all know, any critic on YouTube is capable of manipulating the world, which
Of
is
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
No, fair.
We
Yeah,
should
that's a
all
good point.
fear. We should all fear. Yeah.
I think we are probably going to begin our initial descent into the ending the live stream airport here.
Wow.
But I don't want to abruptly shut it down, so I do want to give us a chance to maybe take a couple last questions in here.
Last questions, everyone. Let us know what you're thinking right now. Little questionroonies. That's what the kids call them, right? Those YOLOs.
Yeah.
Yola.
We should make the lightning round of questions. Ask quick, fast ones, guys, and no spoilery ones, and we can go through and go and answer or whatever.
Yeah, let's see. Okay. When
Someone
will
talk-
Top return from Ivy Lozano? You'll just have to wait and see. Come on,
Yeah.
now.
We literally just said no spoilers. Whatever.
Gee whiz.
Evelyn Og asks, "What's planned for episode 15?"
You'll just have to again wait and see.
Shark Hope asks, "How did you find BFTI?"
on YouTube.
I feel like
It's a
on
good
YouTube.
question. I mean, clearly on YouTube, but I would believe it was from Total Drama Island recommended videos.
That
Kate
is
Brown asks, "What is the entire plot of episode 15, Hearts?"
yes. Why don't I just tell you the whole thing right now?
Quite say right
Okay,
now, guys.
okay, so the camera opens up, and so the whole island is on fire. No, just kidding.
Just kidding.
Just not till the fun
Just
Philly,
kidding,
Philly.
guys. That's the end.
Yeah, same joke. Yeah. Wolf Boy asks, "How long till episode 15?"
Oh, well, I don't
You'll
know.
just have to wait and see. We're on a roll, guys.
Good
How many can you wait and see questions can we answer?
Glitch Girl
Here's what
asks,
I'm gonna
"Apple
say.
or banana?"
A lot coming. Anyway, keep going.
Yes.
Apple or banana?
Apple or banana? I gotta go banana on this one.
What is this? Are these the
I like-
characters or just like?
I think
I don't know.
if it's coming down to characters, I mean, banana hasn't exactly had much of a spotlight.
Oh, but you gotta vote for banana.
yeah.
There are some really gross questions. Not gonna answer those.
Whoa. All right. No need to-
Gross. Yuck.
God.
Get rid of it.
Some really gross question answerers in the channel.
Has anyone commented on the art at all, or has it just been mostly?
Yeah. No. I saw some people saying that they like the colors, Adam.
I'll take that.
DJ Scientist, do you have any advice on making more authentic feeling characters? I think each character, you should never, here's my quick advice. You should never approach any show you're doing and be like, well, I can't really connect to this character because I've written them in such a way that there's just like a block, like they're just weird. I don't know. Like, no, like there should be, you don't necessarily have to directly put a bit of yourself into it, but it has to feel authentic on some level. Otherwise, what are you doing? You shouldn't write some weird person that you don't, yeah, come on.
I think those are all good points. I would say I think half of it also is in the performance too, because you could write them incredibly well, but if the performance seems like you're reading it off a piece of paper, it's not going to matter how well it's written. So I would say definitely I think improvising can really help with that, honestly, where you say it in a different way when maybe you're writing it on the page and you're saying it just doesn't seem like organic to you. And you're like, well, that's not how I would really talk, like a human being would speak. So then you just kind of adjust it, even adding little things like dude and bro in there. Like maybe you don't say those words in your normal, what's your problem, dude? I don't know. It adds a little bit of authenticity there where I say the word dude in my life. And so I'm like, okay, well now baseball's going to say dude. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
My favorite comment has always been where people were like, this doesn't sound like natural dialogue. And it's like, well, have you ever been in a situation where you're abducted into space and you have to talk to aliens? It's like, I don't think natural dialogue is always going to be happening or surrounding that situation. But you're absolutely right, Adam. I totally agree.
I mean, yeah, there's a certain amount of indulgence that then you have to. You're fictionalizing. It's a strange world. Whatever criticism is there, by all means, have the criticism. But it comes from the heart. If we're putting it on screen, we mean what we're saying. So we're just out here vibing. That's all. Yeah.
Absolutely. Really, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This was super fun. I'm sorry it didn't end up being exactly what it was intended to be, but I still think it came out to be something super fun. And I think this is actually like really different than other streams we've done, where I don't think I've ever like designed on stream. I think it's always been like character animating. So I think this is actually really, it's interesting. I think it's cool. So I'm happy it came out like this.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Awesome.
For sure.
Well, everyone, we're going to have to end with a scream, as always.
As always.
Yes. Well, Justin, your internet, has it improved to the point that you're able to join us on the screen?
You're able to
Oh my
join
gosh, I can hear you. Whoa, this is
Right.
Oh, great. Well, you're just in time because we're about to do the scream.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I've been preparing for this scream all day.
And please
Right.
end it properly so
Yes,
it's not
end it properly,
easy to
Adam.
do.
We can't end before the scream happens.
Okay, perfect. Ready?
Here we go.
3,
All right.
2, 1. Ah!